I'm assuming he's supposed to say welcome to the G.N.A podcast.
I was thinking so, but he's gone.
It looks like either his mic died.
It just went quiet.
Or he forgot what to say, or he muted himself. So welcome to the G.N.A podcast.
Well, he burped on it, so it could have been an acid burp, and it shorted it out, like when he spit liquor all over his webcam.
It's very possible, but welcome to the G.N.A podcast, where we drink things and we pontificate about either games, alcohol, or both. Maybe we're also high, and we can't tell whether or not we're gaming or drinking at the same time. Who freaking cares?
I want to point out, Zyber, that you were the one who made me spit all over my damn webcam, and I blame you for that one being broke.
There's no proof of that. I deny it. I plead the fifth.
There is video proof.
I was just going to say, it sounds like there's video proof of it.
I still plead the fifth.
Jesus Christ. I really just wanted to see how long I could go silent before somebody said something.
Oh, I fucking love awkwardness, man. I live in it.
I'm not gonna let this shit sink. You know that.
So you hear them all. We're joined tonight by a whole group of people. We got Zyber Blood here. Zyber, how you feeling, man?
Let's see, 105 hours into a work week. I want to go to bed.
All right. So we're going to expect you to pass out here shortly. And we've also been joined by potassium hydroxide. How are you doing, my fine elemental friend?
I'm doing great. Had a busy week and looking for alternative job opportunities now while waiting for my security clearance.
All right. Well,
so I'm crossing my fingers that someone, outside the government wants to give me a job.
Ooh, I have a job for you. You can have your old one back.
I'm not going back there, man. I refuse.
I'll give you a job. It's called Under My Desk. Hope you don't gag well.
Hey, does it play well? Dude, I've been practicing this whole thing to repress my gag reflex. I think I could do that, man.
Yeah, does it pay well?
It pays in a place to live, but outside of actual payment methods, I don't pay prostitutes.
What if I tickle your prostate?
I mean, fair.
You're hired.
That's part of the job.
And we're being joined by Article. Article, how you feeling tonight, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I am getting better. It's been a long day. And we got Damok joining. How you feeling, man?
How the fuck did Buffalo's name get changed to Potassium whatever the fuck? And it doesn't even make sense, because that's not even when I see him at.
Article, can you explain that for me?
Potassium hydroxide is a strong base. I don't know.
Yeah, I really have no clue. Just all of a sudden, one show we just started talking about him, and that's what he just turned into.
KOH?
KOH is the chemical symbol for potassium hydroxide.
Oh yeah, there's that too.
That's correct. But,
Okay.
Ko comes from my character name in Final Fantasy XIV, which was, the full name was Koji. So KOH
Gay.
is also J-I. So I shortened it to Ko, but Ko is also
Strong base.
potassium hydroxide.
Yeah, this is getting gayer and gayer as we go. All right, Potassium.
It's all about the banana in your mouth.
Don't you mean lame-tassium?
We're being joined tonight by Shinzu. How you feeling, guy?
I'm fantastic. I got a 3-day weekend. I don't know about the rest of you suckers, but I don't have to work on Monday.
I have to work on Monday, but I'm already in overtime, so it's going to be overtime at time and a half.
Ooh. I would love that, with the exception of the fact that I already have a nice paycheck, so I don't have to worry about overtime and a half.
Wait a second. Hold on. You guys get paid?
I get paid in Trident gum. Don't you?
Ooh, I get paid in Orbit.
Nobody pays me in gum.
I get paid in used condoms.
I'm sorry. One day, you'll reach my level.
And we got Shinzu. How you feeling tonight, man?
That's actually the second time you asked. First you asked Secretum, now you're asking Shinzu. It's the same person. You realize this, right?
Did I ask Secretum already?
Yes!
It's Ghost Recon Wildlands, all right?
Dude, I listened to the show and I realized how many times I fucked up there. That was awesome. And you guys are like, no, we're not talking about Wildlands.
Nobody was trying to derail you. We're like, dude.
No, I totally derailed myself. Totally 100% derailed myself. And I kept going with it.
Shit was funny, though.
I'd like to add the fact that Cecil has been drinking as well as smoking some really weird shit, so I don't know where the show's going to go.
Actually, I haven't been smoking anything except for my tires. I drove the Mustang all day today. Well, I'm Cecil Xavier, your host, and I am feeling much better now that I got a couple brews in me. I'm hoping to times that by at least 4, but we'll just see how the show goes. But let's go into the most important thing, the thing that everybody wants to hear. What is everybody partaking in? Let's just go straight up the line from bottom to top. Zyberblood, what are you partaking in, good friend?
Well, I got 3 4-packs today. One of Kababi. I'm gonna fucking bastardize this every time. Carbabi's spiced orange alcoholic ginger beer. Drank all that. I got Hollows and Fetterman's ginger beer. Drank all that. And I got some Citizen Cider Dirty Mayor. Guess what? I'm on the very last bit of that right now. So yeah.
Jesus. So you're really good and toasty.
I'm feeling good.
So I like to actually point out there, Zyber, that they actually introduced a new cider from Citizen Cider called Citra, where they actually just use pure Citra hops.
Fucking awesome. I gotta try that.
It's delicious. I have a bottle of it in my fridge. I'm not cracking it open yet. I'm saving it for vacation, but it is absolutely delicious.
Nice. We might have to talk after the show because we get only trickle downs from Citizen Cider at the brew store, the beverage center. Yeah, that's it.
Have you guys ever poured a beer and the head gets up so frigging high that you think it's going to go over, but then it doesn't go over, but you're sitting there staring at it, praying to God that it doesn't go over?
Yes, and I accidentally spelt my beer.
That is me right now.
Article, I believe you're next. What are you smoking?
Fuck. I like a combination of 8 strains over the last 6 months, all keef caught and put into a baggie. Essentially the powder of everything I've owned for.
I love your jungle juice.
Got it. You're smoking meth at this point in time.
Shake bag.
I'm actually kind of afraid to hit it because my bowl was already full before we started, and there was I only took a hit out of it last night or whatever. So it was full of that. It was the last bit of whatever I had before.
Hand it over to me. I'll let you know how it is.
I'm just saying,
when you wake up.
If and when I repack this thing, you guys might notice a stark contrast in my behavior.
I'm actually leaning towards the Lannisters right now.
I'm just saying, I think this might be potentially a problem.
So you're saying an article that you're pretty much, after smoking that, going to be guy on couch.
I am on couch.
There you go.
I don't think that ball would be enough to make me become...
You're guy on couch.
Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. You worry about Kenny.
There you go.
Article's been with me. I don't think that'd be enough to make it.
I think this would.
I don't know, man.
This is pretty
it's
potent.
gotten worse. It's gotten much worse.
You've tried.
All right, Damok, what are you drinking, man?
All right. So the girlfriend, she stopped by our local In the Sticks Piggly Wiggly and found this beer, which I had never heard of before. It had some attractive artwork and claimed to be an IPA, but I went in with no expectations. From a 12-ounce bottle dated best by 23 June 2019, I decided to break into it tonight. I poured it into a Sam Adams Perfect Pint glass. It's a hazy golden color with some suspended particulate from Lee at the bottom of the bottle. Slow precipitation carbonation fuels a 2-finger white foam head that slowly fades, leaving a generous cap and collar.
Did you fucking look this crap up?
Yeah, right.
Citrus forward nose, barley hints at the flavor explosion to come. In the mouth, it's in, I can't pronounce that word, with a lot of...
Hold on, no. Stop. How the fuck did you be able to read that and you couldn't read the damn Humble Bundle outro?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I was doing okay for a while there. Now I'm drinking fucking Elysian and taking shots of Crown Vanilla because I drank the handle of Crown Apple.
Oh, dude, the IPA?
So disappointed.
Yeah, the Elysian Space Dust.
God, I love that stuff. That's so hoppy, so good. Nice. What about you, fucking Shinzu?
Do you guys want to know what I've started drinking tonight or I'm currently drinking?
Just a little column A, little column B.
All right, so I started at the beginning at a place that Zyber and I are familiar with called Burlington Beer Co. I got a flight there to taste the various of their wares, and I gotta say, 2 of their drinks were absolutely horrible. One of them tasted like they slapped a small child and made him cry over a taxi cab Pine air freshener and poured that into a glass. It was it was actually not terrific, it was absolutely terrible. And then we went to this place called Halyard, which makes absolutely amazing ginger beer. And if you love ginger beer and you're in the state of Vermont, I definitely suggest going there. They have this stuff called Mountain Juice, which is made out of black currant. But I personally drank 3 mixed drinks, which were the Penicillin No. 2, which is Scotch-based, and then a beach drink, which was rum-based, and then a Feeling Good, which was also Scotch-based. Delicious drinks all overall. Highly suggest them. And now I'm drinking Napoli Valley 12-year-old Scotch.
So you just went completely basic there.
Oh my God, Halyard is on point though.
How is any of that basic?
Because it's you.
No, D is the basic one.
Yeah, but D's not here, so you're the next in line.
No.
Right, that's your basic though. Your high quality is show basic without D here. Because that's basic for you.
Potassium hydroxide.
You actually have quality for basic.
So what you're basically saying is I'm elevating everyone else's standards because based upon what I'm drinking, which is, high quality shit, what are y'all drinking?
The new basic.
Right? So how is Napoli Valley basic?
I told you, because you're drinking it.
I mean, if you want to go down that route, fine, we'll get to what you're drinking, I'll tear it apart.
Trust me. You're not going to tear this apart. I hate to say trust me, but I will tear this apart. You don't have to worry about that.
I learned at a very young age not to trust you.
Yeah, I
Right?
always tell people never to trust anybody who says trust me. So please
I will say
don't
that
trust me.
I know I missed last week, and I would like to put on it the fact that I missed last week because
Because you trust me?
I didn't trust you. No, I did not trust you at all. I missed last week because I ran into my boss and I felt obligated to kind of hang out and be the kind of guy. But I finally went to the whiskey room, which has 250 unique whiskeys, and they did not have Cooper's Choice.
You have 250 whiskeys and still not have some.
Because there's a ton of whiskeys out there. And Cooper's Choice happens to be a whiskey that comes highly recommended by Cecil. But he also recommended something called the Dalmore, which I'm sure you guys are aware of. And I had the Dalmore 12-year-old,
nice.
And I sat there and I tasted this, and I realized I'm going to buy a bottle of this. It's not a question of if it's going to happen. It's going to happen within the next couple of weeks. I'm going to buy a bottle of this. I have vacation soon. I'm going to buy a bottle of it. It's going to travel with me. I'm going to sit on the beach, and I'm going to drink the shit out of this crap because it is smooth as hell.
Where you go to vacation?
Going to go to Maine.
You're going to sit on a beach in Maine?
Yeah.
Fucking lame. I want it basic.
So hold on. No. I got a question. Did you find Cooper's Choice or not? I checked out there.
What the fuck you checked out? Fuck you. No, they don't have Cooper's Choice, is what I told you. And apparently,
wait, are you saying they had Cooper's Choice? I thought I heard you say they had Cooper's Choice.
Yeah, again, I checked out there for a second. So you didn't find Cooper's Choice, right?
Let me explain this. They have, I'll equate this to an equation. They have as much Cooper Choice as much as your wife wants to sleep with you, which means there is nothing there.
Okay, so let's reverse that. I probably have gotten laid in the past 3 weeks more than you have gotten laid in the past year.
Pity fucks don't count.
Every fuck counts.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, they do.
Every hole counts.
Touche. I was going to say, warm, wet, insert, repeat.
Every hand counts.
Simply because your wife has nothing better to do does not mean that you're getting lucky. It just means that, I could have gone to the Dairy Queen.
No. That's actually the definition of getting lucky. That is the actual definition of getting lucky. Like, holy crap, she wants to have sex? I am getting lucky right now.
Getting lucky is I come home and she's already waiting saying, hey, come hither.
That's exactly what's been happening.
I mean, that's been me on the nightly, so I don't know about you guys.
Shinzu, come on. But you have to admit, that's after you say goodbye to the, gentleman that's walking out before you get home.
And that's also after you've drugged her with chloroform.
I mean, that's fine. As long as he tags me in and she's accepting, entry's a go.
So, little quick thing about that Cooper's Choice. When I went over and I found that, I specifically asked for a scotch that could not be found in America. So that's why when you said you were looking for it, I'm like, if you can find this, that dude lied to me. So that you couldn't find it means that dude did not lie to me.
And I'm telling you this right now is that I asked the person who they're definitely not anywhere near up towards the top of the chain, but I asked them, I was like, do you guys have Cooper's Choice? They said, no, we're on a waiting list to get it, but we haven't had it. We've never had it, but we've been on a waiting list for like 6 years to get Cooper's Choice.
Oh my God.
Exactly. And you know what? My parents are going over in August. Guess what I'm having them pick up for me?
2 bottles of Cooper's, which I will pay you back for.
Actually, yeah, 2 bottles of Cooper's, but I don't know that one's making their way up to you.
I'll tell you what, if you message me outside of this, you tell me how much the bottle will cost, I will... If it comes on your recommendation, because based upon the Dalmore, I really enjoy the Dalmore, and that is going to be my vacation drink of choice.
I have a bottle and a half of Dalmores over in my liquor area right now.
Is it the 12 year, or is it the 14 or 15 or 18?
I believe it's a 12. The 12 year is really,
12
really
years
nice.
12 years their base model, and that's already like $100 bottle.
It's their basic bottle.
Yeah, their basic bottle is $100, and then it goes up from there.
So here I'll make you a deal. I'm gonna if I can get a hold of another bottle, which I'm hoping I can. If I can get a hold of another bottle, you come down and visit me, and I will share some of my Cooper's Choice with you.
I'll tell you what. You tell me you got a bottle.
You guys are talking all this shit, and who's got the bottle of Cooper's Choice?
Right now, you do.
Damok does.
Damok, where are you located?
I'm in Virginia, man. Come visit. I'll share.
I'll visit with Damok, and I will say fuck to Cecil.
That's all right. I will visit the Damok with you, and I will say fuck us both.
And Damok and I will drink it in front of you and say, nah, bitch, you ain't got none.
I've already had some, so suck it.
Yeah, but you don't have any in that moment is the point.
I'm pretty sure if I blow Damok, I can get some.
If you blow Damok, maybe, but you better not gag. And he's not going to shower for a week before he does it.
I've been doing that trick. I've learned how to repress my gag reflex. My wife taught me.
You better pull the folds back and scrape away the cheese, because that's how bad it's going to be to get Cooper's Choice.
That's all right, man. A little Famunda cheese, I'm okay with that. I'll put it between a couple of pieces of bread, fry it up, make a grilled cheese sandwich out of it.
And call it Grandma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then pull it apart and pretend it's Grandma.
Why do I get worried that my balls are getting fried now in a cheese sandwich?
Your balls aren't getting fried, but they're getting scraped for the cheese.
They are getting scraped. They are going to get scraped.
If they get scraped with some teeth, as long as you bite just a little bit, I love it.
Just a little, just enough to let you know I'm there.
I have one question for you, Damok. How dry do you want it?
Oh, this is going to be Arizona desert dry.
I actually do mean to visit you, Cecil. I just have to figure out the best time to reach you, as well as whether or not I want to drive out there or want to fly out there, depending upon.
Shit!
Cost.
If you fly, I can definitely hook you up there. That's easy enough. Well, we got to continue on here.
Yeah, absolutely. Continue on.
Just don't pull a D and fart inside the car.
I will fucking throw you out of the goddamn. Okay, moving on. Potassium hydroxide. What are you partaking in, good sir?
Peroxide.
Yeah. So
I just got that.
So I have had a couple mojitos, and then I'm going to crack open my bottle of Old Smoky Apple Pie Moonshine.
Oh,
it's so good. It is so good.
Well, Cecil, what are you drinking?
I'm not telling you. I want to hear more about this moonshine.
Is it in a glass bottle that's basically just a sealed canister of jam?
It's in a mason jar.
It's in a mason jar.
We got that shit up here. That shit is basic.
Dude, it's great flavor, though.
It does taste good. It really does taste good.
Zyber, you've had Vermont liquor. Does that shit taste good?
Which one?
The moonshine.
The apple pie moonshine.
Apple pie moonshine.
The Vermont moonshine, it depends.
I didn't ask for your underwear brand.
Yes. That's because I drank the moonshine.
I never took you anywhere to get Vermont moonshine. There's no Vermont moonshine that's sold on stores. You want to find that shit, you got to go out in the middle of nowhere. You got to find a guy named Bubba.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
No. Bubba is that guy that's in jail that hides in the cell and then gets turned into a zombie and tries to eat your ass later.
Oh, no, that was a terrifying game. Yeah. Oh, God, no.
That was awesome, dude. That was a fucking incredible game.
It was. I honestly wish we finished it to completion.
We did finish it. The Sarge jump.
Yeah, the stars jump, but there could have been another chapter.
Oh, no, we did have another chapter. We had You're All Gonna Rot in Davy Jones's Locker. The one that didn't finish was the third one, where you're all special tactical units and you end up getting killed by monkeys throwing flaming poo at you.
Yeah, see, I didn't play in that way. My guess
you
is you
fucking did.
Did I? I don't remember.
You did. You had a friggin' DS that was like a hacking tool, and you dropped it.
I honestly don't remember. I must have blocked it out. It must have been a shitty narrator.
Oh, you're fucking killing me.
Bad GM.
No, it was good. You just fucked up. Oh my god, is that how much of that bottle is gone?
Yeah,
that's not a lot of that. That's not a lot gone.
No, because like last time I was there, he only barely had like just the tip gone. Now he's actually gotten through it. I'm proud of you, man.
You know what's the worst part about the fact is I tried to find Cooper's Choice 98, and you cannot find that particular year anywhere.
Nope, because there's only 435 bottles made. And
I will tell the readers who are listening, who are not readers, why. Because this stuff is distilled every, 10 years?
No, because there was a 96, there was a 98, there was a 2001.
Right, but they're all coming out of casks that are 10 or 12 years old is the issue.
No. So that's when it was put in the cask. It was bottled, I think, 18 years later. So
you're saying that the Cooper's Choice was bottled in 1980 is what?
No. It was put into the cask in 1980. It is 1998. It was then brought out of the cask and put into a bottle 18 years later.
Oh, okay. All right. So I got that backwards. All right. Because when you said Cooper's Choice 98, I thought you meant it was out of the cask and in a bottle at on the year 1998.
No.
I didn't realize
that was when it was put in the cask.
Okay.
No, but that stuff right there, that picture that Damok is showing right there, that was an incredibly expensive bottle of booze.
Can you give me a price point? Not that I care, but we talking $100, $200, $300?
That last one was closer.
$300?
That one was pretty close.
I almost dropped $500 on a bottle not too long ago, and it was going to be a bottle I held for a long time before I cracked it open.
Well, I'm super stoked that Damok has been treating this like you treat a good scotch. You bring it out every now and then, and you just have a little bit because that's all you need. Now, that cool part about that bottle is cask strength. So most scotches, they dilute down to be, I think, 45%. But that is 50, is that 52 or 53%?
It's 54.5%.
There we go. So it's cask strength. So literally whatever it came out of the cask, that's it right there. And they only made one cask of that, one sherry cask. That's it. So that is one of 435 or something like that.
So I do have a legit question because while I love scotch and I love whiskey, I'm not a big, I learn about all this stuff. Do you find, as of your personal experience and anyone in the group's personal experience, is that once you open a bottle of scotch, it definitely has a flavor differential depending upon how long it goes? Because I've opened a bottle of scotch and then 6 months later also took in a drink from it and been the taste has definitely changed.
Yes, and that is with, I really like Lafroig, the 10-year-old scotch.
That's the peat stuff, right? Where it's really heavily smoked in peat, yeah.
Hardcore peat, it goes great with a cigar. Or if you pop that bottle, and then you drink a couple glasses and put it away, a couple months later when you come back to it, it definitely tastes smoother instead of having that good bite to it. And I don't like it as much. So if I open it, I'm drinking it.
Because that's what I've heard. I've heard that if you open a bottle of scotch, you have to drink it within a 30 to 45 day window. Otherwise, it loses that initial bite because once oxygen gets into it, it changes the dynamic or the flavor of the drink that you're having.
Yeah, probably the alcohol evaporates.
Yes, part of that is true. The alcohol starts to evaporate a little bit. Now, that depends on how they bottle it. The Cooper's Choice is bottled at cask strength. So it's straight from the cask. That, as long as you keep it in a relatively cool and dark place, do not let any sunlight get to it, it's phenomenal. Every single time I have half of a finger of a glass, every once in a great while, it tastes the same every time. It punches you in the mouth and is just amazingly smooth after.
So Cooper's Choice really has a strong start and a smooth finish.
I personally think it's got a strong start and a strong finish.
See, like, that's not my ideal scotch, though. My ideal scotch is like, so the Dalmore, for example, for me personally, it has almost, I don't want to say like a water consistency where you could drink it all day, but I could drink that all day. It's very, very smooth going in, and it's very polite going down.
So the Cooper's Choice is not something that you would sit down and drink all day. The Cooper's Choice is one of those ones where you would drink a glass of it, and then you would switch to a lighter scotch, and then that lighter scotch would be like, you would almost get more flavor out of that lighter scotch, because that burn that you get would be completely obliterated, because that Cooper's Choice is just pow in your face.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd like it then.
Yes. So I do that with the Macallan 12 or even a 14. You hit a little bit of Cooper's Choice. I mean, we're talking just almost a quarter of a shot glass full. You do that, you enjoy the cigar with it, and then you drink a glass of Macallan. It's really, really good.
See, I'm not a cigar kind of person, and like, I know everyone has like a different flavor, a different type of scotch they like. For me personally, I like my scotch to be smooth, and that's possibly like, I want it to be smooth and full of complexity. Like, I had this stuff at the whiskey room, which they don't know what they gave me, and I honestly don't know what I drank. It was, I can't really place it, but it entered my mouth. It was very inviting, and it was like basically like, hey, you want to have more of this? It's very easy to drink. And then like the rebound effect, there was no rebound effect. There was no like, hey, I'm coming back up. And then like, it was just very inviting. And then they suggested trying this stuff called Napoli Valley 12-year and 14-year-old, and I tried it, and I find it a very relaxing. And basically, bottom line is, I like a relaxing scotch. I don't like something that I have to fight to get down. I don't like something I have to pair with a cigar to get down. I like to be able to sip it and be like, this has a complex flavor and combination of everything that would make a scotch. Like, I can taste the cask, I can taste the notes, the floral, the apple, the orange, the honey notes, everything.
This is going to sound totally arrogant, and it doesn't mean to come off that way. When you start drinking scotch more, you will appreciate the flavors that you get out of Cooper's Choice. Like, everything you just described is there, but the thing that comes along with Cooper's Choice is you get the smack in the face as well. And as you drink more scotches, like, there's a McClellan 21-year-old that does the exact same thing.
I've had it. Did not care for it, honestly.
Really? Oh my God. That 21-year-old was so smooth at the end. I
didn't think it was
could have
worth the
drank
cost.
that while having sex.
So, all right. So imagine the oldest scotch you've ever had.
Now, when you say oldest
in terms
age scotch or oldest like bottle of scotch?
Oldest, I'll say, go ahead. Oldest bottle of scotch.
Okay, so the oldest bottle of scotch I had was a 1988. It was bottled in 1988, but it was put in a cask 25 years prior to that.
Now, I want you to triple that. All right?
Like,
now, you and I both know the clients that my parental units know.
Okay.
And
when you triple that, you're talking about a $40,000 bottle of scotch.
I mean, it really depends upon at the time, but I've had like a 40 to basically at your point in time, you're basically talking about a 75-year-old scotch.
Well, no, because keep in mind that when it's bottled, that it doesn't age in the bottle.
No.
Like scotch doesn't age in the
True.
bottle like you would want it to, like not like a champagne does.
I've had I think the oldest scotch I've had was about a 50, depending upon how you look at it, about a 50 to a 60-year-old bottle of scotch once it's been put into the bottle. And I didn't like it because for me personally, like, I don't really like things that have been aged in oaky.
But that's what I'm saying. So like, as you start to progress through your scotch life, you will start to appreciate the different scotches that are out there and the different flavors that you get out of it.
So what you're saying is once I kill my taste buds, which is a lesser known scotch.
No, once you get used to it is what I'm saying.
No. You kill your taste buds specifically with a cigar. A cigar kills your taste buds.
No, I do not do cigars.
Well, shit. Can I get into what I'm drinking? Because I got a lot to say about this beer.
Absolutely. Go ahead. What are you drinking? No one cares.
Nobody's going to care because I'm going to fucking tear this thing apart. All right. I love Dogfish Head, and I have now found a second beer by Dogfish Head that I do not like. And I hate I hate giving a review on this show of a beer I don't like because I feel like I should be positive. I feel like I should be all upbeat.
Can I ask a question?
Taking all this. No, you can't. Shut up. So I am drinking a beer by Dogfish Head that's called, it's got on here, it's Dragons and Yum Yums in collaboration with the Flaming Lips. All right, I honestly have no fucking clue what style of beer this is, but
that was my question.
Yeah, the art is awesome. It's like these weird little, like, bally little things riding this weird looking dragon with like a little hop guy down there and then like a sunny guy doing a peace sign. They're only 6.5% by volume, so they're very, very drinkable by everybody. However, I don't like this beer, and I'm going to give you a plethora of reasons why. The first part is the smell. The smell on it smells like, to me, like, you know when you go behind the bar and you get that beer-soaked bar mat smell?
Yes. But quickly, sorry to interrupt you, but you said Flaming Lips, right?
Yeah.
All right. And would that be the band Flaming Lips?
I believe so, yes.
All right. That explains everything.
Okay.
How could you?
Well, because I saw it and I said, this is something new I haven't seen from Dogfish Head. And since I like a majority of Dogfish Head's beers, I figured this was a good gamble. However, I was incorrect. Now, I'm sure there's going to be somebody out there that loves this. So whatever I'm going to describe, if this is up your alley, go get this beer. Don't take that I don't like it as a reason not to drink this beer. So the smell of it is, if you take that beer mat smell and you dump a pound of sugar on it, that's the smell of this beer.
I was out of ideas and I needed something to can, okay? Don't blame me.
Well, okay, I'm tracking there, but literally, like, that's the smell from this beer. So that's the first thing that you get out of this. The attack is almost a sour. And that's the thing that throws me off, because you smell it and it's almost sickly sweet. You taste it and the attack is almost all sour. And I'm like, where the hell does sour come into play here? Is this some weird, like, wizardry happening on my taste buds? Then the finish goes into this weird, like, sweet, sour, like sour mix just had an orgasm in your mouth and they happen to be eating pineapple that day. Like, that's what I'm getting.
Was this an experimental brew that they did, or was this something they plan on having on a regular basis?
God, I hope it was experimental, because I'm not liking it. I'm going to drink it. I got a 6-pack. I'm drinking all of this. And
I like to tack on to what you're saying. Is that, like, I really do appreciate that breweries are trying to do something, but, like, all the local breweries around me are having things like animal crackers and, like, milk sugars in their beers, and a lot of them are just gross.
Yeah, I like an experiment, and I like that these craft brewers are really trying to, like, step outside the lines. And like, this isn't deterring me from Dogfish Head in any way, shape, or form. They're going to come out with a new beer next week, and I'm still going to try it, or next month or whatever. I'm still going to try it, because the majority of the time, when I pick up a Dogfish Head, I dig it. In fact, well, I would go there to their brewery and be like, hey, look, I talk about your shit so much on this show, you should just give me a 6-pack.
Coconut. That's all I'm going to say. Coconut.
What you got, Shinzu?
Honestly, just a question. Do you know how often they do their 90-minute IPA? The stuff that you bottle and you keep in a bottle for, the more longer you age it, the higher APV it gets.
You talking the 120?
I don't know. Zyber, you brought me some of the stuff when you came to visit.
120.
120. Okay, so the 120. I kept that stuff in a bottle. I drank one bottle, and I kept it in a bottle for our mother and Zyber and I's mother, and I gave it to her, and then our dad drank it, and it, like, messed him up hardcore.
Oh yeah, that's the 120-minute IPA. That comes out every fall. That's like August, September. It's released. So if you know any place that sells Dogfish Head, go hit them up around August, September, and they should have them.
I know places around here that do, but they never have the 120-minute IPA.
It's a fall beer. They only do it once a year. So, and sometimes people won't get it. So what you're going to want to do is definitely go talk to your local beer store, beverage center, and say, hey, look, I'm looking for this. can you get it? Because some places don't get it because it's not going to sell. Bear in mind, it's like on average $45 for a 4-pack.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, I drink that kind of stuff. Like, they have dragon's milk. I don't know if you guys ever drank that.
Hey, Damok, you know about dragon's milk, don't you?
Oh man, I love dragon's milk.
I do too. Dude.
Damn
like,
it.
what's your favorite dragon's milk? Your favorite type? Is it the plain or is it like the flavored?
I drink the plain dragon's milk and I just drink it down. The only problem that I have with dragon's milk is I piss out my ass the morning after.
Yep,
I mean,
that's exactly what I was looking for.
My favorite dragon's milk is the chocolate cherry. They had this stuff during the fall, and I drank that stuff, and I immediately regretted not getting like 8 packs or 8 4-packs at once, because I got 1 4-pack and they sold out that same day. I got there the release, and then they sold out, and they never had any back at my local place.
Alrighty, well, we got to get into the next segment since we've now been jabbering on about booze, which I guess, you know, that A there in the name kind of tells us what we're going to talk about. But State of Games. State of Games is where we talk about what we've been playing for the past week, or we just pontificate about how we feel games are in general today. So let's go reverse down that line. Potassium hydroxide, what is your State of Games there?
Well, just like last week, I am playing Black Desert. They released the newest content update, the underwater sea biome, that about 99% of the game can't even participate in because you need a gear requirement to
What?
Okay, so what happens with these content updates, and more specifically this most recent one, is that gear score is a heavy requirement for this new zone, and the gear score in Black Desert requires months or a year plus worth of gameplay to get your gear to a point where you could actually even partake in this content. So I'm trying to play catch up.
Sounds like Warframe.
Yeah. The same thing as like Warframe. I think a little bit more grindy.
Nice.
Yeah,
very nice. I gotta get into Black Desert. I mean, I keep saying I got to do something else in games, and all of a sudden,
I'm going to warn you, and everyone else who's listening. Black Desert is heavily pay for convenience. I mean,
yeah, I know.
So
I know, and we got into that conversation a couple episodes ago.
Yeah,
we'll not breach that this time around.
Yeah,
but Shinzu, what's your State of Games there, guy?
I'll try to keep this short, as I know I've talked a lot tonight.
Yep.
One, pontificating. Yeah, screw you. I've been talking about one. I'm really happy that they're going to be potentially banning loot crates and boxes in games.
Fucking A! Don't open that can of worms. Move
I know.
on.
I just said I'm glad they're doing it. But mainly, I've been playing a lot of Player Unknown PUBG, and I don't know what it is about that game, but I love it. I'm not going to go into it, but then I decided, you know what? I'll go ahead and put that aside because I like it over Apex. I don't know why. I really can't explain why I love it. I guess I'm better at the game. But then I said, you know what? I'm going to get back into Resident Evil 2, the remake. And
yes, you are.
Part of the reason I stopped playing that game was because I get really like, I don't get nervous. I don't get scared during games unless I'm playing like really games that actually terrify me. Like when Cecil and I were playing Dead Space 3, portions of that game terrify me with the overall arc of Resident Evil, at least for Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, and partially 4, absolutely terrify me. So I kind of forgot about a lot of the Resident Evil 2 series about Mr. X.
Uh-huh.
So I honestly remember that, like, in Resident Evil 2, you could kill Mr. X and he went the fuck away.
Yeah.
So I legit stopped playing Resident Evil 2 because he was like the dude in Resident Evil 3. He always followed you going, stars. And, like, I would be running through an area and I'd hear his footsteps and I would just pause. And I would sit there for 5 or 10 minutes breathing heavily going, oh shit, is he going to turn the corner? And then he would just wander the hell off and I wouldn't have to worry about him. But, like, I started playing the game, and I got to the part in time when I realized that if you're doing a puzzle in the game, he doesn't follow you because the game wants you to complete the puzzle. I was like, oh, that's kind of convenient. So it's in the clock tower. But in the original game, I remember when you're in the clock tower, he grabs hold of the ledge, completely prepared for that shit. Never happened. Never happened. So I was like, you know what? I have this key I can unlock a couple doors with. I will go to the door. I will unlock the door. I went running to the door, and he just busts through the wall. And I legit, I wasn't even holding my controller or slash my keyboard. I threw my keyboard. I picked it up, but I just fucking threw it. He came through that wall, and I almost shit myself.
Yep.
Like, I remember the point in time.
Spot.
Right? I remember the entire point in time when you, my brother, were kids. And he said, wouldn't it be funny if? And I completely forgot about that shit. My girlfriend is trying to sleep behind me because my computer's in the same room we go to bed in. And I was like, I don't even fucking admit it. I'm like, holy shit! And I threw the controller in the air. I didn't expect it because he broke through a door. Sorry, he didn't break through it. He broke through a wall that was just a generic freaking wall. It had no special connotation to the game, had nothing. It was just a wall. It wasn't part of a puzzle. It wasn't part of a storyline part of the game. It was just a wall. And I can't tell you how happy I was the fact that they took my game experience from the first time they did Resident Evil 2 and they morphed it and they changed how the settings were into the game where, like, I don't know if you guys play Resident Evil and you play the Resident Evil 1 remake for GameCube, but how you were running through the hallway and the dogs hit the glass of the window and they just bounced off of it, and the dogs actually didn't break through the glass until 3/4 of the way through the game. That situation happened and it terrified me, it scared me, and I honestly can't tell you how happy I've been in a game that has not only scared me but also made me question whether I wanted to go to bed that night. I haven't had a game that made me go, like, I really don't know if I want to sleep tonight, other than the Resident Evil series. The Resident Evil 1, 2, I've never said, I don't know if I want to go to bed. But this remake of Resident Evil 2 has made me say, I don't know if I want to go to sleep yet, because I might actually legitimately have nightmares. And after watching Mr. X bust through that wall, where I was honest to God not expecting it at all, makes me so incredibly happy. And honestly, if you love those games, if you love survival horror games, I highly recommend Resident Evil 2. I haven't even beaten the game yet on the Leon playthrough, but I highly recommend it.
That's what I love about these remakes, and Capcom really nails it, where they know that they have people who remember the original game, and they play off of that. Just like what you said about the dogs from the first game. They know when you're walking through that hallway that you're expecting dogs to come through there. And they lull you into a false sense of security thinking, oh shit, I've ran through here like 4 or 5 times. The dogs never came through. And then, bam, they're there.
Right, but do you remember, though, when you're playing the game, the first time you're running through the game in the GameCube remake, the dogs hit the glass, and the glass doesn't break. It just kind of like maybe makes a slight sound.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And you're like, oh, here it is, here it comes, and it doesn't happen.
I know, that's false sense of security that they lull you into. They're like, oh, don't worry, they're not actually going to break through the glass, you're fine. Next thing you know, after you've run through there 4 or 5 times, you're not expecting it to happen, and then it comes through. And I love how Capcom did that.
Dude, the redheads blew my mind in the GameCube remake. Because, like, honest to God, like, the first time I played Resident Evil, you kill a zombie, it falls on the ground, it turns into a pile of whatever because they're trying to save on pixels. But then in the GameCube remake, the first time I downed a zombie, the zombie didn't disappear. I knew the zombie was quote-unquote dead, but it didn't disappear. And I'm like, there's got to be... I was like, cool, this is a remake. The zombie are going to just stay there because of X, Y, and B. And then I'm like, why are they giving me oil to burn bodies? This seems kind of weird.
Hold on, back that train up. X, Y, and B? What the fuck type of alphabet was that?
XYBA, man. That's a controller layout.
Jesus, Mary and Joe.
I'm probably the only person that actually thought that the GameCube controller was actually comfortable.
All right, moving on from that. Damok, what's your state of games there, guy?
Sadly, I don't have a wonderful story. I got sucked back in the world. I've been playing that for a bit.
All right, well, tell us about it. What brought you back to it?
I made a mistake, and I started watching Minecraft videos, and one of the guys I was watching makes a RimWorld series, and I started watching that and going, oh, I miss RimWorld. That's such a good game. So I own it. I installed it and started playing.
Nice. About you, Arkle. I know you're playing Apex Legends. What's your state of games?
Oh, I'm not actually playing Apex Legends. I mean, I've been playing it. I still like it. I still dig it. But yeah, I haven't really been playing anything else. I don't even know if anything's coming out. But yeah, I've been pretty. I'm really looking forward to the remaster of Halo Reach. But there's been no news on that front either. So
it's coming. It's coming. Be patient,
dude. That was my favorite Halo game.
It was a pretty good one. I'm
excited to play it. To be perfectly honest, I'm excited to play all the games past Halo 2 that I never got to play.
Right, but do you remember though? I'm just really worried how they're going to handle it. Is the only concern I have.
I would love to go through the trilogy with somebody if you guys want to do it.
Dude, let's make that happen. I am all for streaming that shit.
Article, you know me, and I always play Halo games on Legendary the first time I play through, so if that's something you want to do on PC, I am down.
I don't have a PC.
But you have a Mac, so yeah, you can still play it.
I want to buy it for Mac. You know how fucking badly Halo's going to run on Mac?
No, the question is, do you know how badly Halo's going to run on your PC equipment?
I do have a desktop, actually. I just don't have a monitor.
All right, I'm not even going to comprehend that. So, Cyberblood, what's your state of games?
Other than about 15 minutes of Graveyard Keeper, I haven't played jack all. Other than a game called Tallywhacker.
And that 15 minutes really made you go.
Tallywhacker is a game where you load up a special site, you whip out your member, and you start whacking. It's a fun game. Win-win. Every time.
Say, you probably have a t-shirt that you can use as a nightstand, don't you?
No, but I have a bunch of pants that I could use as nightstands.
There you go.
I mean, pockets. What are they good for?
Well, that's why I had like old socks. They're a good catch-all. My state of games is actually pretty simple. I jumped back into Destiny a little bit because I found some free time. So I passed my last class. I'm jumping onto this class about accounting, and I know I do not want to be an accountant. Like I know now, there is nothing in this world that is going to make me want to be an accountant. However, I got to take this class, and I've got to learn it because it's going to help me in the future, and I understand that, so I'm going to take it. But I just have it playing in the background while I play a little bit of Destiny. And I got to say, I have missed a shit ton in that game, and I didn't think that was really possible in Destiny. But I've missed a lot. I've got a lot of catching up to do. So I've been trying to catch up on that. And I'm not just talking about light level. I'm talking about all the little intricacies that's happened. There's been a lot of little content releases that have been pulled out. And I really got to catch up on it. I've got a lot of lore that I got to catch up on, which is really, it's God damn, it's weird for me to say that I got to catch up on lore in Destiny because, well, it's notoriously lore free. But yeah, I got a lot of catching up to do. Fortunately, I don't know how you want to label that, but, Graveyard Keeper is part of a Humble Bundle right now. I saw that going, so I had to load it back up and I had to play it. That game is like a black hole. You start playing and you just can't get away. And it's not like the black hole. It's not like it's not like the black hole that you see in the movies where you just get sucked in and you get sucked in quicker. This is like the black hole where you're witnessing something happening, and instead of seeing it happen super quick, as they get sucked in, it's slower and slower and slower until they're just red mist. Like, that's the black hole I'm talking about. But yeah, that's been it. I gotta quickly tell you about this though. This isn't quite about video games. This is about how my day went. Because I feel that somebody will get a laugh out of this. So I had a big interview today, and I say a big interview. It was an interview with like 6 different people at this very large company. My day started off. I have these glass water bottles, and I try to use those because they're easier to clean. So I brought 2 of them. I had one that I was going to drink in the car on the way there because it was a 3-hour drive there and like a 4-hour drive back. But I figured I'll drink one in the car, and then I'll have one for the interviews. That way I'll be nice and hydrated. I won't have to worry. Didn't want to assume that they'd have water bottles there, but I figured I'd have them hanging out on me. So I get to the parking garage, and then I Google where the building's going to be, and I find out that the building's about 0.8 miles away. I say, well, shit, I'm here 45 minutes early. Well, it's only going to take me at most 20 minutes to walk 0.8 miles. I'm just going to walk it. So I put said water bottle in my pocket, I put my phone in the other pocket, and I start walking. As I start walking, just moseying right along, feeling pretty good, all of a sudden I hear this very loud tink, like something hitting concrete.
Oh, no.
So immediately I turn around, I'm like, well, shit, what the hell was that? And I'm looking around to see if I dropped something. No. As I look down to look around, I notice that there's a small wet spot starting on my pant leg. So I'm like, well, shit, that's weird. Thinking that the cap came off the water bottle, I go to pull the water bottle out of my pocket, and that's when the whole bottom of said water bottle completely releases and dumps an entire water bottle down my leg.
Oh, no.
Now you think to yourself, hey, this sounds pretty bad on its own. Well, the worst part about it is that the way my pant leg was and the way my sock was working, it whipped all of this water straight down into my shoe. I didn't leave a puddle anywhere. It all funneled right into my shoe.
Oh, no.
I'm sitting there holding a glass water bottle with the bottom broken out of it. These shards of glass in my pocket that have probably embedded themselves deep into my flesh by now. I'm looking at myself going, this is how I start the interview? With a right leg covered in water? So I'm walking in now. I'm like, well, shit, it is what it is. I'm walking in and I'm thinking to myself, I gotta think up a really cool story about why my right leg is completely covered and soaked. So I sit down and I start talking to a gentleman in the waiting room there. And I'm like, hey, so what are you here for? And he's like, oh, I'm here for an interview. I'm like, hey, that's what I'm here for. Of course, he immediately asked, you here for security? I'm like, no. Systems engineer, not security. He's like, oh, okay. And I see him glare down at my leg for a quick second. And I say, there's a story here. And he goes, oh, no, I wasn't. I'm like, no. I saw you look. So on the way in, I got attacked by a rogue water elemental. It was the craziest thing in the world. And he looks at me for a second like, what? Then I go, yeah, that sounded way cooler than a water bottle exploded in my pocket. And at that point in time, he realizes I'm telling a joke, kind of smiles and snickers. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, I've been thinking about that for the past 5 minutes, how I could figure out a way to talk about how my right leg is covered in water in a really cool fashion.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I got attacked by a rogue water elemental today right before an interview.
That
So
sucks.
I would have went with a
That
Pokemon.
sucks.
I would have said Magikarp tried to spray me.
Yeah, see, I was gonna go with, I was thinking about the Pokemon Go thing, like, hey, I was playing Pokemon Go and like friggin' Gyarados just fucking wrecked my face. And I was like, no, I gotta go with something like, cause maybe people don't play Pokemon Go, and I can't imagine why somebody wouldn't play Pokemon Go, but I mean.
Spontaneous acute sweat.
Everybody knows what a Magikarp is, and they all know they're useless.
Dude, I love my Magikarp. I always have that fucker flopping around.
I think everyone would know that I don't play Pokemon Go. They would never play Pokemon Go. I think everyone here who has worked with me
You
knows
don't
why.
even have to play Pokemon Go to know what a Magikarp is. That's the great thing about Magikarp.
Very true. Yeah.
I don't even know what it is, but I imagine it's that useless fucking fish-like Pokemon that comes out of
And
the
that's what
Pokeball
exactly
sometimes.
what it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's exactly what it is. So even
Smash Brothers.
my brother, who knows nothing about Pokemon, understands what a Magikarp is.
And I've made it a point my entire life to ignore everything Pokemon related, I might add.
That's from
Like-
somebody who's actively tried to ignore it, and he knows what Magikarp is.
Just never enjoyed Pokemon.
Look, if you know what Nintendo is, you know what a Magikarp is, bar none.
Alrighty, well, you know, I probably should say we have a topic, but we're like almost an hour in here. And we
I
just
thought you said at the beginning of this we didn't have a topic.
I know, well, that's what I'm saying. I'd love to say that we had a topic, but we really don't. So we're going to kick straight into questions right from State of Games.
Wait,
So
did we get to Zyber Blood, what his state of games were?
Yeah, he was first, dude.
Are you sure? Are you absolutely
Yes.
positive?
Yes.
Are there
I wasn't
any-
first.
I feel like we missed.
I'm pretty sure we went reverse order and I was first.
Zyber,
No.
are you confident is correct?
I wasn't first.
See, he wasn't first.
Well, hold on. No, I'm pretty sure because I started with you and you told me that you worked like 104 hours and you didn't do dick. You played like 15 minutes of Graveyard Keep. Fuck you guys. I am not that drunk.
I was first to last. You were the last person to go. I was first to last. I wasn't the first, though.
I feel
All
like
right,
we could have had a
tip,
great
whatever.
joke going, but you fucked it.
All right, so moving on to questions. Oh shit, this one's for me. So Hollowed asks, "Can you please tell the Virginia Beach story?" All right, if you guys got to go get a beer or something, I would suggest go doing that now because it's going to take a minute.
Could we get to the other question first?
Yeah, let's do that, and then I'll go back and tell it at the end. That's a really good idea. That's a very good idea.
Yeah, because not that I don't like you guys, but I don't want to stay here for half an hour while you tell a story.
Well, I'm going to try to do the abridged version. All right, let's go into Zyberblood's question. If we ban Icy for questions like we did Damok, will Shadow finally show us some love again? I think Shadow is just vaporized. I don't think Shadow's ever coming back.
Can we just say, like, I miss Icy. I miss his deep, soothing voice.
Fuck
So,
that.
no.
Fuck that. I hear him daily at work. I am done with that shit. That fucking weeaboo garbage bullshit in his fucking tone of voice drives me absolutely insane.
So I'm right. We heard nothing of consequence, right?
Dude, every time he goes into the Zimbabwe voice, man, I'd lose my shit.
Racist.
Like, every single time. I know it's racist. I know it's racist, and I'm fully comfortable with saying I know it's racist, but every time he jams into that, man, I lose my shit.
I mean, you guys realize that he's legitimately from Nigeria, right? It's not
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I
Yeah,
know.
just like
Cecil,
my
do you hear
coworker
that?
Bully is from Congo.
Zyber, do you also hear that? I hear something of opinion that does not matter.
I
Let's
caught a whiff
mute
of it.
him. Let's mute Scrotum over there. All right. So no, I don't think Shadow's coming back unless we just like, I don't know, rub him off or something.
He's gone because of work/school, right?
No.
He got married.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh shit! The worst. The hex is upon him.
All right, next question. Who is your immortal hero? Someone whose memory will never die for you. Why are they your hero? All right, so let's go down the line here. Potassium hydroxide, do you have an immortal hero, and why?
An immortal hero. Oh man, I don't know if I've ever really thought of that. It'd be a tough one. That died.
Well, they don't have to die. I mean, they just got to be.
Yeah, they don't have to
hero.
be dead yet, but when they do die, their memory will forever live on.
If he has a hero in like the last 50, 60, 75 years,
I don't think I particularly ever thought of that. I don't think I have a hero whose memory would live on for me, unfortunately.
All right, yeah. So you suck at life. What about you, Sekram over there?
Shinzu, thank you for
Yeah,
remembering my
that's
name. I understand that Latin is hard for you to say, which is why I say you can call me Shinzu. But I have two, Mozart and Edgar Allan Poe.
Ooh,
How are those
why
immortal?
Mozart?
Mozart because I find the compilations that he's created soothing, and I honestly can't explain why. Like, if I am in the most angry state of my life, I can listen to Mozart, and I can find something beautiful and settling in what he is producing.
You should
But
check
that
out.
dude had a really fucked up life, man.
He does. I understand it. His life was so
Your
fucked.
music. Your life was fucked up. Now I feel better.
Amadeus. Is a great
I don't
movie.
understand it, but if you listen to any of his symphonies, some of them are haunting. Don't get me wrong, some of them are haunting, but most of them are beautiful, and they just make me feel better.
No, the guy was a fucking genius, but man, that dude had a fucked up life.
Oh, absolutely. And if you watch the movie Mozart or what do you want to call it? Mozart?
Amadeus.
Amadeus.
They made a movie
yeah,
on this
sorry,
guy?
Amadeus.
Yes.
They did. It's called
If you
Amadeus.
haven't seen Amadeus, you should watch it. It's fucking awesome.
It's
Oh, shit, I gotta
amazing.
go watch it.
And the guy who plays Mozart is
Perfect.
yeah, you could not ask for a better. It's like the guy who played Genie. Robin Williams played an amazing Genie. If you go to see Aladdin and you see Will Smith playing his Genie, destroyed. R.I.P. You're done. There's no Robin Williams. That was
So
it. That was
I
the
got
top of the block.
hold on. Let's back up on that movie there for a second. So, do they kind of touch into his promiscuous sexuality?
Yeah.
Absolutely, they do.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right. Then I
yeah.
gotta
So
watch
his
it.
he's promiscuous. His father was very rigid, which was
Yes.
absolutely historically true.
Rigid and hard.
Yes, he did hard jobs. So his dad actually ends up, in the movie per se, his dad actually ends up passing, and Mozart feels partially responsible for his father's ultimate demise, which leads him to try to compose I don't even know how to call it. It was his last symphony in regards to his father, and he tries to create this thing that would be memorable for all the ages. He never finishes it.
I've got to watch this movie because everything I've read about Mozart, everything that I've studied on the man, like this is hitting it on the head. So I've really got to see this movie.
It's a really good movie, dude.
The movie Amadeus is like, I first saw it when
It's told through the eyes of like a jealous, I don't know, whatever the fuck they were, clergyman who was also a composer.
No, it wasn't a clergyman. He was legit. He was the composer of
That's what I'm saying.
particular notion.
It's told through the jealous eyes of another composer, but he was part of that king's court, whatever the fuck bullshit at the time.
I gotta watch
Do you
this.
remember the movie about Alexander the Great with Anthony Hopkins,
No.
which also starred Brad Pitt?
I feel like
Brad Pitt?
no.
Negative.
Yeah. Negative. Okay, so it was a movie about Troy and the fall of Troy, and it was told through the eyes of someone who was basically like a third party person. Horrible movie, absolutely bad, but kind of same outlook.
Are you talking about the movie Troy?
Yeah, it was the movie Troy. It was told from an outside perspective, and that's the same deal as Amadeus is told from an outside perspective. It wasn't told by Amadeus, wasn't told by his lover, wasn't told by any of that. It was told by someone who legitimately tried to poison Amadeus's life, who, Mozart
hated the dude.
was.
He was a hater.
I gotta watch this movie.
It's a good fucking.
And Edgar Allan Poe being my second. And then obviously, if anyone here doesn't know who Edgar Allan Poe was, if anyone here doesn't understand his lifestyle, then I'm just to say, go ahead and Google the dude. Like, seriously, if you've never read anything or heard anything about Edgar Allan Poe, you've been living under a goddamn rock.
Yeah, that dude had some issues. That dude had subscriptions, not fucking issues. That dude had
legit.
subscriptions.
They found him on a park bench, and same thing with oh god, who was it? The artist who was writing all the plays about Agatha Christie. Couldn't tell anything about the last 48 hours of their life.
Yeah, Poe had a really weird ending to his. Well, he had a really weird life to begin with, but he had a really weird ending to his life.
Dude, they found him on a park bench, and he's
in,
like, yeah,
Boston.
yeah. They're like, so and so happened, and then he passed away, and everyone was like, wait, what happened?
Yeah,
he made
it was
his
like a week later.
Yeah, he made his arch nemesis, the person he hated the most, be the person who was like the guardian of his estate. It made no sense.
He was a weird cat. What about you, Damok? You got a immortal hero over there?
You forgot his name, didn't you?
I actually had to scroll down because I couldn't remember who was next.
Does it have to be like a real person, or it could be a fictional character?
Real person.
Well, no, they don't specify. I mean, you didn't specify.
I am
in the
now.
question.
I mean,
I'm saying
legit,
real.
the person
Real
just
goddamn
said
person.
Real person.
Nah, I don't know. See, the question just says, who is you immortal hero? So somebody whose memory will live on. Now, the memory of a fictional character could live on.
You can't use Big Titty Bertha. That's not allowed.
What about Tiny Tina?
It'd be Major Benson Winifred Payne.
Who the hell is that?
Major Payne.
Oh, okay. All right. You shorten up a bit. I'm like, okay, I get it.
I love that guy. I love his character. He's straightforward. He's to the point. He doesn't have any bullshit about him. I really enjoy that aspect, and that's kind of how I live my life. I try to, at least.
If he's in there, he ain't happy. That's a good one. That's a real good one. Correct. What about you, Article? Got an immortal hero?
Nobody that really comes to mind. I don't even know what that means. Is it like just somebody highly revered?
Dude, it could literally be anybody.
Just someone whose memory will never die for you.
Right, provided I don't get Alzheimer's.
Yeah, or shot in the head or something, yeah.
Right.
Oh my god, dude. It could literally be like Hawking. It could be literally anybody, too.
Yeah, I mean, Stephen Hawking is a good one. That dude was pretty fucking brilliant.
That is a good one.
Yeah, I mean, probably dudes like that. They're the ones they're certainly the people whose work I admire the most. Einstein, obviously. That's probably a good one. Einstein. That dude will not die at all, ever.
No, I don't think he can.
Give it 100 years.
No, they'll still be talking about
Right,
it.
it's already been 100 years, man.
No, give it another 100 years. We'll all be dead. No one's going to know who that is. No one's going to know
Look at that.
who anybody
Give him 100
is.
years. It's been 100 years. Give it another 100 years. That's a politician reply if I ever heard one.
Do you not know how artfully I can dance around the question?
What about you, Zyber? What's your answer to the question, man?
Well, for myself, I have two. First being my late stepfather. Mainly because he stepped in where a lot of people weren't stepping in and ultimately changed the course of my life. And secondly, I would say Van Gogh because he could take one hell of a your joke.
Oh, Christ, dude. Come fucking on. Jesus.
That's priceless.
Fuck, God, I love that you made that joke, but damn it. I can't. I'm angry that I laughed at it.
Also, I second that Van Gogh notion. I really like Van Gogh.
So I'm surprised nobody's saying it Van Gogh. Being all hoity-toity.
It's actually Van Gogh.
Yeah, now you're just trying to, like, speak Klingon.
No, I'm serious. Look it up.
Well, I've got two myself. Both of them, I don't know, you might consider really, really lame. One's for a very personal reason, and one's for a not very, well, actually both of them are pretty personal. But the first one I'm going to go with is Bob Ross. That man will never die in my mind. Ever, ever, ever. I will be 90 years old, and I will be talking about a happy tree that man made. And just learning about, like, when I used to watch that man on PBS painting his shit out, I felt, like, watching him, I felt that this man has gone through some shit in his life. Like, just watching him, I looked at it and I'm like, this dude has gone through shit. Like, there is something that happened in this man's life. And later on, I found out that his wife died. And he was still painting, he was still doing this whole PBS show. So, like, that was years later that I found that out. But I just remember watching it and going, this man has gone through shit, and I don't know what it is, but this man is working through it right now. So, that he can just take just whatever shit he's gone through, revert it back, and make something so beautiful out of it is just, like, that in my mind is a state I want to get to, is a state I want to be in. And the second one is a way more personal, and this is just gonna be really, really cheap and kind of, like, I don't know, maybe more opening than I want to get on this show. But my other one is my wife. No matter what happens, I will always remember her, and I will always thank her because she's really the sole reason why I'm still here.
Wait, did you just admit to killing your wife?
No.
It sounds like it's in the future, in the near future.
Right?
This is like
Quite possibly.
All right, so the earliest recollection I have of your wife is giving me a blood blister on my hand playing air hockey.
the earliest the earliest memory I have of Zyber is of him asking for blood. Particularly mine.
The earliest memory I have of Cecil is drawing blood, so we're even.
Yo, that's fucking that friggin' I still
even
have
I
that
remember
bandana.
I
still have that bandana.
Of course you do. I'm sure it's very thirsty for more because it's very rare it gets to taste that kind of blood.
Oh, next time it sees you, it's totally going to draw some blood. Oh, yeah. No matter whatever happens in my life, I could get Alzheimer's. I could get shot in the head. I can guarantee that I will always, if I am who I am, I will always remember her.
I guarantee you that if you get shot in the head, D is going to have something to do with it, and it's going to be something really stupid.
Yeah, probably. Probably like cleaning a weapon or something.
No, it's going to be modding something. You'll be modding an Xbox or something like that, and it's going to happen.
Yeah, work the metal, D. You got to work the metal. All right, next question. Shit, we got some more to get through here. And I'm having trouble seeing at the moment. Your favorite game is getting a modern overhaul. What game is it? Fuck me. This better be a quick question, guys. All right, let's reverse this up. Cyberblood, answer your own goddamn question.
All right. Well, let's see. I would say Final Fantasy VI.
All right, I'll take that. Final Fantasy VI. Article, what you got?
If we're going all the way back there, I would like to see a revamped River City Ransom. That'd be dope.
Man, that game, like, oh god.
They made that into a movie, and it starred The Rock.
It's easily one of my favorite multiplayer games of all time.
Uwe Boll didn't make that movie, did he?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I thought you said no. River City Ransom was not a movie. It was Rampage that became a movie.
Yeah.
How the fuck did you go from River City Ransom to Rampage?
I honestly was not paying attention, and that is my bad.
River City Rampage.
What about you, Damok? What game?
So, some of you have played the greatest game that has ever been made, and some of you
Please don't say it.
have not.
Please don't say it.
Eternal Dark.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine.
That game
That's
is
not the greatest game
incredible.
I want a remake of it so bad. Now, the gameplay aspect of it with the fighting mechanics was terrible, pain in the ass, but every fucked up psychological thing that it could do to you when you ran out of your sanity was just phenomenal.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Absolutely agreed.
I'd actually like to see an E.T. remake.
You already said
They're
one.
still gonna bury it in the goddamn desert.
What about you, Shinzu? What do you want to see remade?
Honestly, I fear, but would love to see a remake of Ocarina of Time. To me, that game is absolutely perfect.
Didn't
It
they
has
remake it?
great battle system.
Yeah, they already did that.
They didn't. No,
Yes,
did they
they did.
really?
Yeah,
Well, it's in the
right,
works.
yes.
It's
Well, it's in the works, but it hasn't come out yet.
No. It's been remade 3
swear.
times already.
No, they've ported it and updated the graphics, but they haven't remade it from the ground up.
No, you're right. Not from the ground up. It's been
Yeah.
ported with a bunch
So-
of things and a lot of fixes for different systems.
When you say remake, I imagine they do like with what they're going to do with Final Fantasy VII is they tear the game completely down to the bare bones.
Or
Right.
Resident
And
Evil 2?
or Resident Evil 2, exactly. They remake it from the ground up. And I both want to see an Ocarina of Time where they take it from the ground up and they rebuild it because that game has everything I could ever want in a game. I only worry about microtransactions and what gaming has become of this day and age.
No, not for Ocarina of Time because you're still talking about Nintendo. Nintendo has
You
not
are,
gone
but-
into the microtransaction game.
Have you played Mario Party?
Oh,
I don't think you've played Mario Party.
I'm sorry,
Damok,
but-
I'm sorry. Can I break the bad news? The next,
Yeah, you should break the bad news.
The next-
Because
the next Mario Kart will be heavily pay to win.
it will be very heavy. Have you introduced a Nintendo Lab? Because that is pretty much pay to win just with cardboard.
So, wait, what games for the Switch have come out, because that's their newest console, that has microtransactions? I haven't seen a single one.
There's a whole scandal on it now. The next Mario Kart game will have pay to win, like loot boxes where you will be gambling for Mario Kart carts and special characters and etc.
He's not wrong. He is very right in this. That's why I'm really worried. Is because after generations, Nintendo has finally given in to the same thing that Xbox, PC, PlayStation, all the other consoles have given into: micro, transactions.
And this is gonna be worse because, like, you know, at least the AAA industry is kind of trying to stay away from pay to win.
Oh no, they're not.
There are a few companies like EA specifically who are aiming,
No,
for it.
EA is like full balls deep
That's
in
what I'm saying,
microtransactions.
who are aiming for pay to win. Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Name me. All right. So name me one AAA title that is not microtransactions orientated. Name me one.
One AAA title that's not the microtransaction oriented.
What is the last game they came out with?
The Witcher 3?
Yeah.
Anthem? Is that a microtransaction? I don't play it, so I have no clue.
Epic, yeah. No, I'm sorry, not Epic. Yeah, no, they're microtransactions. They're like fucking hell to microtransactions. They're pretty much the same league as Destiny 2 at this point in time.
Yeah, but Destiny 2 is all like cosmetic shit. Like does nothing for the actual game.
Yeah, but you can also buy Glimmer with real money, which also allows you to buy certain things
you
that you
can't.
couldn't.
Yes,
Can you buy Glimmer with real money? Yeah, you can. Yeah,
Glimmer
absolutely.
with real money? Where?
Yeah,
When?
absolutely.
That's what I did. That's why I spent
What's
like
the,
$40 on it.
No.
Yeah,
okay,
there's-
you buy Glimmer with real money.
Yeah, there's
When did
Glimmer,
that
and then
start?
what's the other transaction too type they have? They have another transaction that allows you to buy things like weapons and things like that you couldn't
No, you
otherwise
can't
acquire.
buy any weapons. You can buy cosmetics.
Skins.
And you can't buy, you can buy
skins.
skins.
Yeah, skins.
No. Hold on. You cannot buy Glimmer.
Dances.
You can buy silver dust. which is all cosmetic related. You can't turn that into
Silver Dust.
Glimmer.
All right, fair enough. Silver Dust.
No, that's not true, because I spent real money to get the fastest speeder in the damn game.
Oh, right, there you go. Speeder. That counts. Speeder does count as a skin. It does enable stuff.
Okay, so, but a speeder doesn't do dick for you.
Yeah,
It does in the speeder races.
It's not cosmetic at all. It increased my speed to the maximum speed where everybody else
and they do have those races. They do have the races,
but you
too.
get those to try. Yeah, but the thing is, they haven't even done races in Destiny 2 yet.
Stop defending Cecil. Yeah, absolutely they have. What was the...
In Destiny 2?
Yes.
When?
At Destiny 1 and 2, they offer the... What's the event? I honestly don't play Destiny 2 anymore.
But it's called the Sparrow Racing League.
Yeah, and they still have a variant event in Destiny 2.
When? When did that come out?
I don't remember what... It was been there from the very first beginning of it.
No, it has not been.
If I Google right now, Sparrow Racing in Destiny 2, and it's a thing, I'm going to slap you.
Google it and tell me, because that means I missed a whole fucking ton of it. The only way I know that you can pay real money and get Glimmer is by buying Silver Dust and then turning around and purchasing the different things, getting a random drop from it that you can then sell for Glimmer, which is the ass backwards way of doing it.
Honestly, but that is the way they did it. Actually, Arcade was heavily dependent on kind of doing that kind of thing, and I think people calculated that you could pay about $3 million to pay to win your character, and people did it. Unfortunately,
yeah, Sparrow Racing is a thing in Destiny 2. It's actually available right now, PS, PS4, and Xbox One, and this was as far as 2 years ago. Was when this article was released.
Destiny 2.
In Destiny 2. Yeah, 2 years ago. It's been around for about 2 years.
Right,
I don't know what you're doing.
Link that shit, because I know that I'm not that far out of touch. I know I haven't been playing Destiny a lot. I'm not that far out of touch with Destiny.
That part I don't know, but I am sitting here Googling Mario Kart loot boxes, and there's only stupid-ass YouTubers speculating on loot boxes, nothing announced from any major site.
See, that's the thing, is that there's the Japanese version of it, which shows you video footage of it.
Isn't they're gonna make loot boxes illegal in the United States, or supposedly there's gonna be a bill to introduce that?
Right, the bill is going to be introduced, and then they have to decide whether or not what they're going to do from there.
Now, okay, so we'll move on to the next question.
Yeah, if you're looking at it though, the mobile game of Mario Kart has loot boxes and all of that, because the base game is free, and then if you want extra stuff. But as far as the game coming out for the Switch and any next-gen console, there is no kind of loot box reported at all.
All right, the only thing that I've found for Sparrow Racing League on Destiny 2 are rumors. So if you've got some shit that actually shows it came to Destiny 2, you got to link that. Otherwise, I am calling Boshi on you.
Now, still, Destiny 2 still has a quite pay-to-win aspect of it. Not crazy, but when I spent $40 on the game. I really enjoyed it. I also bought the fastest speeder. That speeder, being faster than everybody else's, allowed me to go from the I don't know what the damn things were called, like the victory things, where you jump from one to the next.
The public events?
Yes.
The one where you can fast travel between them?
No, you can't, because they're off of the fast travel ones.
Okay.
So I was able to get to those.
Yeah, wait, hold on. I want to back that up. You're saying that Destiny 2 is pay to win because you were able to get to a public event 4 seconds faster than I was.
I wasn't arguing that it's completely pay to win. I was just saying I did pay money, I got the faster speeder, and I was able to get more rewards at the very end of everything.
I mean, if it's only a 4-second difference, it's not really that pay to win.
I was going to say, yeah, there's no pay to win aspect of Destiny or Destiny 2.
But I will say that, on the same hand, there's even convenience, there's a level of convenience that ends up becoming a pay to win issue. And that's when I referenced back to Black Desert, and I warned you. When you have that level of pay to win or convenience, it does become a hindrance to players who don't have that access.
All right, I just reached out to my Destiny guru, Chaz Almighty. Chaz Almsey, and he has confirmed that Sparrow Racing League has definitely not come to Destiny 2 and is definitely not returning. So I have no clue what you're on there, Shinzu, but you are 100% wrong.
I actually just got back from taking a piss, so it could be wrong. I literally just read the title of it. I haven't played Destiny 2 because, in my opinion, Destiny 2 is a terrible game.
That's fine, and you're entitled to your opinion. That's fine, but when you're throwing out bad information, that's where I gotta like throw down and be like, "Whoa,
Yeah, hit the brakes.
I really like the opening of Destiny 2, like that whole everything's under attack. What the fuck? Like that's pretty cool.
Oh,
I mean,
that opening scene was pretty impressive.
It was.
We can also look at the fact that, like, if Sparrow Racing is not returning, then Sparrow Racing is Destiny. So I don't know.
Yeah, okay, you're just trying to dig your hole out now. I see it. You should just back up and quiet down there.
I mean,
young
I
buck.
honestly think that Destiny doesn't
Take about 20% off that swirly, Dan.
Yeah, you might want to take us about 16% right off the top there, Squirrely Dan.
Tell me Destiny and Destiny 2 were good games. At launch, tell me both those games were good.
Whoa. See, now, hold on. Now you're making qualifiers. Tell me at launch. All right, now you're making qualifiers so that you can be right. So we're going to move on.
I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying all right.
No. We're going to move on so that we don't dig you a hole that you can't get out of.
I'd never played the first Destiny because I watched people play it, and the first Destiny game was shit. I did because Cecil and Zyber and a couple other people said, let's play Destiny 2. At launch.
See, they were wrong.
No, at launch, Destiny 2 was a shit ton of fun. It is when it got to the first expansion that, thank you, Zyber, you did buy me the expansion pack, and I appreciate that. But the expansions were fucking garbage. At launch, I actually really enjoyed Destiny 2.
There wasn't that much of a game to play with.
I mean, it had plenty of content to last you for a while, but it did hit that barrier where it was kind of like, there's nothing else to do. What am I playing for?
The problem with Destiny 2 is that when it launched, it had a shit ton of stuff to do. It just had no incentive to do it. They pulled the carrot away, so there was no real reason to chase any of that content.
Yeah, I never made it past that first little like encampment that you come across.
Oh, the farm?
I like reached there, and then I was like, "Fuck this game, I'm out."
That was the very beginning.
Yeah. It did not take long for me to burn out on that fucking game.
Yeah. When they announced Destiny 3, I will not. I'm just going to skip it entirely.
No, that's probably a good call. Yeah, because what they've done with well, that's a long. Let's continue on with this question. So, have you already given Shinzu? Have you already given your what game you want to be remade? Oh, you said Ocarina of Time.
Yeah,
so it's potassium hydroxide now. What game would you want to see?
Oof. Well, it's kind of tough because I'd say Black Desert has already been remastered into a updated format, and then Final Fantasy VII is coming out soon. So that's one of my favorite games of all time, right? And
oh my god!
I guess if I had to say one that isn't like in the works at the moment, maybe Final
Please
Fantasy.
say Chocobo Dungeon.
I'm gonna say Final Fantasy IX. I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy IX.
Man, is there no love for Final Fantasy VIII?
I don't like Squall. I don't like Squall.
There really isn't any.
If you could turn your sword into a gun, you would just have a gun. You wouldn't bother with all that extra shit.
So, like, even if I had a secondary choice, it still would not be Final Fantasy VIII. It would be Illusion of Gaia. It would not be Final Fantasy VIII. Final Fantasy VIII appears nowhere on my list.
Like Legends of Dragoon. Anyone remember that game?
Yes.
Oh god.
Oh hell yeah.
What's your remake of that game?
Yeah.
So I would actually want to see. So there's a battle system in a game called Legends of Legaia that I really dug because it reminded me of Sabin in Final Fantasy VI.
Mm-hmm.
I love Sabin.
That you had, dude, and you had to do these button patterns to make his attacks, like the pummel attack. Like I still remember how to do that.
Yeah, it's fucking great. It was the Ryu-Ken thing.
Legends of Legaia had this like this pattern that you did in it. And each pattern that you did different damage, so you had to like learn them. Now you could cheat and just look up the best patterns, and yeah, fuck you, you suck. Or you could actually figure them out yourself and do it all. So that's the game I want to see remade. That was a fun game.
You remember that weird dude in the Velt, the kid?
Oh, Gawk or whatever his name was, Gawk.
It was like Gau, I thought. It was like Gao or whatever.
Oh, maybe it was Gao. Yeah, okay.
I once played around through Final Fantasy III at the time, and I made it to the Velt, and I was like, "Yo, you should go jump out there and learn some new traits or whatever." Right? That was the last time I saw him.
Never came back. He said, "Peace, I'm out."
Like, I was like, "What the fuck?"
You didn't give him any meat rations properly.
No, I did. This was well after that. He was like level 46 or some shit, and I was just going there to try and get all the enemy like traits that he could learn, and then he just vanished. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Hold on. He found an Atmo weapon. Said, "Fuck you guys, I'm having fun."
Well, no. If it was article playing, there were Atmo weapons from the beginning.
Yeah, that might have been the problem. I was gonna say that might have been the problem. Is Game Genie code might have been fucking with some stuff.
So, honestly, the game I want to see remade is Star Tropics because I want to hear my brothers scream in agony again.
Right. Those fucking games.
Moving on. Next question. If TPC poached Blue Shark 45, would anybody really care? And if we lost Blue, does that mean we're stuck with Damok peeing between our legs?
Who the fuck is Blue?
Yeah, who's this blue guy you're talking about?
Blue
I don't know. I saw it pop up in the lounge a few times, so I figured, why not? Let's roll with it.
Well, on a serious note, yes, somebody would care. I would care.
Who the hell are you?
I don't know. Who am I? Really, who am I? That's the ultimate question. And Damok is always going to be peeing between our legs. So,
dude, I'm getting really fucking good at it. I got no splash damage, no nothing. You tuck your shit back, we got this.
What if I want to tuck it up, though, not back?
He's got zip ties. It all works out.
If you tuck it up, dude, I cannot promise that I will not piss directly on your balls.
I'm okay with that. That's my fetish.
All right, no, we don't need to go into that. Let's move on.
Next question.
Yeah, I like that. Let's avoid water sports. Let's continue on.
Now we know all the funny comics comedians are dead. If you could resurrect one comic, who would it be? I'm answering first, Mitch Hedberg.
Oh, I knew
Very nice.
That was going to be articles as well.
No, Mitch Hedberg right away, dude, because, man, that dude, every single time I watched him, I laughed my balls off. Every single time I turned on one of his recorded shows, I laughed my balls off. I can't say that about any other comedian. I can honestly say that I've seen work by every single comedian, and every single comedian I can think of, and I can think of work that I never laughed at. With Mitch Hedberg, everything he did, I laughed at.
Yeah, Mitch Hedberg he had a really unique way of thinking.
Yeah, it was all I don't want to say one-liners, but it was all like deadpanning.
Yeah.
Even when he's talking about fucking ants. I mean, I had an ant farm once. They didn't farm shit.
Yeah.
And if you tore their legs off, they look like snowmen. like that right there. It's like, you stop. He just deadpans it, and you have to think about it for a second, and it's like a slow bullet. You're just like, woo! And then it hits you, and you're like, that was funny.
Yeah, he had a gift, man.
Me and my friends, we got high in a forest, and we saw a bear, so I immediately ran up and said, I vow to prevent forest fires. After we stopped running, I looked at my friend and said, wow, Smokey is way more intense in person. He's an asshole. I fucking love that guy. Anyway, potassium hydroxide. What about you? You have somebody you want to resurrect?
I'm going to say Rodney Dangerfield.
Ugh.
I get
Very
no respect.
nice.
No respect.
No respect? Oh, come on.
You have
Got no
to.
love over here. I mean,
It's a good one.
I enjoyed Rodney Dangerfield's comedy and loved him in his movies, so we'll have to go with that.
That's a good one.
He made-
Back to School. You remember that one?
He
Yeah.
made good appearances.
Yeah, it was great.
Man, that is a good one. What about you, Shinzu? What do you got?
Robin Williams.
Man, you know what?
So
I
hang on,
thought-
before you even get off in your tangent, I loved Robin Williams, but also I realized how much work he put in. We wouldn't be in the situation we are with Will Smith playing the genie in Aladdin right now in the live action adaptation if Robin Williams was still alive.
Yeah.
So here's my problem, and I actually thought about Robin Williams, and I decided against Robin Williams for the simple fact that Robin Williams was an amazing comedian, but that man was so he suffered from a level of depression that I don't know how he managed to function as a human being, let alone be that person. But the only reason I wouldn't want to bring him back is because he would still be that same guy, and I wouldn't want anybody to suffer like that.
And like you're talking about Mitch Hedberg, right? The guy who was a constant like dependent upon like cocaine and shit.
Yeah, but he killed himself by overdosing. That's like being dependent on drugs.
He made a mistake and overdosed him.
He killed himself having fun.
Yeah, being dependent on drugs is way, way different than being stuck in a black hole of depression.
So, right, Robin Williams killed himself, but is there any way of saying that Mitch Hedberg overdosed on purpose? Nobody will ever know.
I used to do drugs. I still do, but I used to.
It fucking took me a second to realize you were jumping into a Hedberg right there. God damn it. That's why I fucking love that guy. Yeah, but okay, so I get what you're saying. Like, we don't know that he didn't overdose on purpose, but we can jump to the logical conclusion that nobody looked at it and said, wow, this fucker's depressed, and he killed himself. With Robin Williams, there was a lot of evidence pointing towards this man is depressed.
I mean, there was a lot of evidence, but there was also a lot of him smiling and joking and laughing. I mean, he legit just did a commercial introducing, because he named his daughter Zelda because he loved the series so much that no one really guessed that like 3 months after he did this thing that his, the same thing with the singer from Linkin Park.
Oh, Chester, yeah.
Yeah,
that
Chester.
Was fucking
no one saw that coming.
Well, dude,
and like, yeah, everyone could after now. But like, honestly, ask yourself, when you heard that Rob Williams had committed suicide, or when you heard Chester Williams committed suicide, in that moment, would you have said, yeah, I saw that coming? Or you may be like, shit, I didn't realize that. Then after you sat down and thought about it, you're like, crap, I really saw that coming.
So with Chester, no, I did not see that coming. With Robin Williams, I absolutely saw that coming. In fact, it was probably about a year earlier. I was talking to somebody and I said, man, I can't believe Robin Williams is still with us. And I said it anecdotally, just kind of like, man, it was like Bob Ross. Like, I looked at Robin Williams and I said, that man has been through some sort of shit in his life that he is trying to work through, and he's using comedy to work through it. Same way I looked at Bob Ross and I said, that man has been through some shit and he is using painting to make it through it. I don't want to say that I called it, but I felt that there was something going on with Chester, though. I had no fucking clue. And looking back, you're exactly right. Looking back, listening to music, okay, there was something going on there. But like the other one that like blew me away that really caught me off guard was Chris Cornell. Like that, I honestly, not
I saw that one coming.
Who the hell?
I saw Chris Cornell coming. I honestly did not see Rob Williams coming because with someone who plays comedy as a regular bit, and you have to do so much across the spectrum, they have to do comedy, you have to do depression, you have to do anger, you have to do forgiveness, you have to basically do the 5 stages. I legit did not see it coming, especially because he had a daughter and he poured so much in the fact that he cared about his daughter, he cared about his family. I couldn't see him leaving that behind.
But that's the thing, is that the reason I could see that is because I can relate to that, because I use comedy as a defense mechanism a lot of the time, and I can see that.
I do too, but at the same time, like, I wouldn't leave my girlfriend behind, I wouldn't leave my parents behind at the same time. But like, I get that he...
Yeah, but you're in a different state than he was, man. You're in a different state.
I mean, that's relative, depending upon, like, I don't know...
Well, he's in Vermont and you're in Virginia.
Right.
What do your relatives have to do with it?
I said it's a relative... ha 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 ha.
Damn it.
Zing! Zinga baga baga baga.
All right. Article, did we get to you?
I don't think so.
Who'd you bring back?
No, we didn't.
Who would I bring back that has died?
Comedian.
Oh,
yeah,
comedian.
Prince, so we can have the Dave Chappelle skit.
That would be impressive.
Can we just bring back, like, what if that person hasn't died but their career has?
That was way fucking.
I will allow it.
Who you got?
I will.
Wait, yeah. Let's hear who we got before we judge how brutal this was.
Louis C.K.
Oh,
dude, come on!
You know what? I will allow this. If you could resurrect Louis C.K. before he made his mistakes, I would allow it.
Dude, like, he had that Netflix special though. Like, he had that Netflix special. So
to be fair, the Netflix special
be
was shot
fair,
months before this whole scandal took place.
Yeah, that was all done well before. But that's what I mean. Like, I miss that dude. That was like one of the few comedians, and thank God we still have Dave Chappelle. Holy shit!
Like, honestly, could you imagine being Louis C.K. though, looking to Weinstein, looking at that, going, "Fuck, I hope they don't get about me." And then some girl comes forward, and he's like, "Shit, I can't stop this now."
Well, I think him and Weinstein were very different instances, but yeah, I see your point.
I mean, really? I don't, like, yeah, in circumstances, absolutely, but in it happening, not
Weinstein,
really.
The difference is Weinstein has been accused of literal rape for which there seems to be credible evidence.
Yeah, I'll admit for both male and female.
Yeah, CK is getting accused of whipping his dick out. That's about it.
But I from what I've heard, and
whipping his dick out
I don't know
and whacking it in front of the person.
Right, I haven't looked closely enough at any of the details to know which of this is actual fact. But from what I gather, Louis C.K. basically asked the women, like, "Hey, you want to watch me jerk off?" And it seems like they mostly responded yes, thinking it was a joke or whatever.
Yeah, but at the same time, they never asked if they were in the splash zone.
So
well, you come to Waterworld, you should expect to get wet.
He got in a bunch of trouble, and it was the whole thing. But like, even Sarah Silverman came out and said, like, yeah, dude was kind of weird. He would ask if he could jerk off. And they would be like, yeah. And then he would whip it out and he would jerk off. And Sarah Silverman, when I don't agree with the question because I think there's plenty of comics still alive. Yeah, she said yes. And she's watched him jerk off a couple times and admitted to it and defended him.
That's all I'm saying.
I mean,
I would like to make a comeback. And
if you ask a comedian, if you're like, hey, would you like to watch me toss some salad? And you say yes, you kind of got to know what you're getting into.
Yeah, you can't get upset about it later on, being like, "I said yes," and then he whipped his dick out, and it's like, yeah, that's
what's going to happen.
It's called consent. You said okay.
Yeah,
when you go to McDonald's and they ask you, "Would you like fries with that?" and you say yes, you can't get pissed that you got fries.
I want to make it clear that I don't know if the allegations were worse than that. From the ones I have seen, this is all I know. So if there are allegations that are much more heinous in nature, I'm not aware of them. But given what I know, I would like to see him make a comeback. Essentially.
All right. What about you, Zyber? Who'd you bring back?
Well, I got a twofer because they're a great duo when they would work together. That is Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, that's actually a really good choice.
Yeah, that's some good thought there, man. Man, I went knee jerk with Mitch Hedberg, but that's way better. All right, moving on. We got a couple more. We got a few more questions.
No, bullshit. Damok did not get an answer.
Shit, I was trying to bypass you.
What does it matter? You don't agree with the question.
No one cares about Damok.
God damn it! All right, Damok, what do you got?
I don't agree with the question because I still think that Sarah Silverman is hilarious. Jim Jeffries is hilarious. Burt Kreischer.
Who the hell is Silverman?
She's not funny to me.
Man.
She hasn't been funny in like 30 years. Move on.
Dark-haired Jewy comedian.
Oh, so she's the female version of Adam Sandler. I get you.
You anti-Semitic.
Dude, did you actually just say Jewy?
Yeah, she's Jewish.
She's Chewy like Chewy.
She's
oh,
Jewish.
Christ.
But like,
Damok, who you got, man?
That's like her shtick.
I can bring back anybody. It's George Carlin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good choice. Yeah, George Carlin was a great comedian, yeah.
That's a really good choice. That's actually better than Zyber's. Yeah, that man had such a great mind.
I honestly, so like, if you brought him back to life, I'm pretty sure he would have a heart attack about the current state of our government because he would know which way to go with his jokes.
Oh yeah, he would just drop dead. Like he would come back to life just to drop dead.
You'd bring him back to life, and like he would stare at the CNN or Fox News for like a week, and just literally his heart would explode, not knowing which direction to take it.
A week? He'd probably watch it for 5 minutes, and his brain would explode.
I said 24 hours.
See, I see now. I didn't know there was a derogatory or offensive connotation to Jewy.
I mean, all right. So some people you order a steak and you're like, it's kind of chewy. And sometimes you order a person, you're like, it's kind of chewy.
And then sometimes you order a cigarette and it's kind of Jewy.
Yeah, I think it's more her. I think I've heard her say it, and I think that's where I picked that up. But
Well, that's like, some people being able to use certain words and others not.
I
I'm
disagree.
just kind of like, I was going to invite my friend over for Christmas, but he's kind of Jewy.
Oh, Christ. Moving on.
Yeah.
All right. Icy asked the question. If you could torture one person and you could completely get away with it, who would you choose and why? Jesus Christ.
That's
Why did you guys ask questions that are like
Normal.
really simple yes or no type of shit?
I'll
God damn it.
go. I would torture Icy because he asked a question like this.
All right.
that's a-
What about you, Article?
motherfucking Osama bin Laden. Dude can get fucked.
He's already dead, isn't he?
Yeah, but I'm assuming we could kind of.
Yeah, I'm assuming the question did not say alive or dead, so I'm
Yeah,
assuming it could be anybody
like-
you
So you're
want.
just going to grab a dead dude and torture him?
Yeah, fine. Hitler's bones.
Man, if we're doing that, I'm dry docking him. Like, seriously skull fucking the shit out of that guy. What about you, Damok?
Muhammad Gandhi.
Oh, that's fucked up. Although,
Why?
It is not fucked up.
Oh my
That-
god.
He is not a good person at all whatsoever.
no, this is kind of like the Mother Teresa.
All right, you're
thing.
cutting this part of the show where he just literally said Muhammad.
Well, this is like the Mother Teresa thing. Like, apparently, their Mother Teresa didn't believe in like pain medication and thought like children's suffering was a sign of God or some stupid shit.
Yeah, like he convinced hundreds of thousands of people to just literally walk in and get brutalized and be like, oh, it's okay if you guys all die. It's going to be for a better cause. So go ahead and die in horrendous fucking ways. But yeah, it's okay. It's cool. Don't worry about it, guys.
Did you just mix horrendous and
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you just made up some words there. I'm okay with it, but I'm really drunk at this moment in
Oh,
time.
words
Yeah.
So
and
I've been drinking.
yeah, I've been drinking again. What about you, Shinzu?
I honestly, I don't have an answer for this because there are so many people and so many questions I have that I'd love to ask people. I couldn't pin them down and say yes, because I would love to ask so many questions over so many people that have committed so many horrible things in this country. I honestly, in the world, I couldn't pin down an exact person.
All right.
Also, I'll on the flip side, on great things as well.
Okay. What about you, potassium hydroxide? Who would you torture?
can I say the Don King?
Yeah, I mean, you can say whatever you want.
Don King.
I guess I got to ask why, though.
More specifically, I've been looking a lot more into boxing and throughout the careers of like Muhammad Ali and
Yeah, he fucked over a lot of people.
he fucked over everyone. He's like the biggest con man ever in terms of.
Have you watched the last season of Game of Thrones?
Is Don King in it?
No, but I'm just saying, like, a lot of people kind of got fucked over.
I heard it ends with a sex scene between George R. Martin, George Lucas, a stormtrooper, and Indiana Jones.
I mean, you're not
I'm
wrong.
there. I'm watching it right
Except
now.
R.R. Martin wasn't a part of it because technically he has nothing to do because he hasn't finished the last two books because he's, I don't know, there's a reason why. But George Lucas was there and he was fucking Indiana Jones, who also in turn was fucking a stormtrooper.
I love it. I'm there.
Yeah. Wait, Martin had nothing to do with the last.
No,
So HBO so the HBO series had eclipsed the books, and the last two seasons, correct me if I'm wrong because I really haven't read the books, but the last two seasons have been pretty much just the writers reading what the previous books had been and kind of speculating on where it would go.
correct.
Very much so. It was the D&D guys or whatever. After season 1 through 4 were by the book. Then they got into one more book that could have lasted 2 seasons. Initially, Game of Thrones was supposed to be 12 seasons long, and then they cut it down to 10 seasons. Then the directors cut it down to even more with the producers because the wolf and the dragons cost too much in the CGI budget. They cut it. But after season 4, season 5 had a touch of George R.R. Martin. He was on set and helping them work through some of the stuff that they had fucked up. And then after that, season 6 they sat down with him, they talked through it, but he was not on set. Season 7 was fucking horrible because they said, screw it, we can do better than the books. And then season 8 was just a fucking massacre of garbage.
Yeah, like, honest to God, season 8 felt like it was so fucking rushed, and at the end of it, I was like, really? That's what you're gonna ignore everything the books put in, everything the previous season had built to, you're gonna completely ignore it. You're gonna pull a fucking Star Wars on me? Fuck you guys.
So wait a minute, are you guys torturing the writers of Game of Thrones now? Like, I'm trying to figure out how this relates to the question.
Throw them on a fucking, I will absolutely I will torture the writers of the last season, actually the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones. Why not? Because I can't think of anyone else, but like that hurt me kind of because I never read the books, but I love the series.
To be fair, they had a timeline to meet, and they had to make a deadline. So it's not entirely...
only because so legitimately, like I don't know if it was HBO saying you have to wrap this up in X amount of episodes and X amount of seasons, or if the writers were like, yeah, we're done, or if the actors were like, yeah, we're done after this.
Nope.
I don't know what it was.
It was the producers entirely. The writers and the producers are the same people. They call them D&D, and it took me for fucking ever to figure out how D&D, like how Dungeons and Dragons was ruining Game of Thrones until I realized what D&D actually stood for when they're talking about Game of Thrones. They had a fucking huge budget. They had hey, we're going to sign you on for 12 seasons. Then they lowered it to 10. Then they said, we can do better than the books. Let's lower it to 8. And they fucked it all up entirely. That, legitimately, those people should be fucking tortured.
My main concern is that they took like this 12th season and now they're doing a bunch of spin-offs involving Game of Thrones. So I'm wondering if like part of the budget for Game of Thrones has gone into the spin-offs.
So all the
spin-offs are being, turned to the shit table and flushed.
No.
I don't know. Are they not coming out anymore?
I'm still very confused.
So let's go on here. Hold on.
Let's
Damok, who would you torture?
Oh, we already said that. Muhammad Gandhi.
Okay. Article. Did I get you?
Yeah, I think I said something about Hitler's bones. I can't really remember.
Yeah, it was something about skull fucking Hitler's bones.
Okay, what about you, Zyber? Did we catch you?
No.
Okay, who would you torture?
Let's see. Actually, yeah, I did. I said icy, but that was in tongue in cheek.
Fuck, I went the wrong way. Potassium hydroxide. Did we get you?
Yeah, we went through a hydroxide peroxide.
So who hasn't gone?
You are the only one who hasn't gone.
Shit.
Stop drinking less and answer the questions more.
Cecil, you forgot to mention what you're drinking.
Fuck you.
Wildlands.
So
State of Games.
I'm going to torture myself for completely fucking up that segment of questions. That's who I'm going to torture. I'm going to lay myself right on down on the rack, and I'm just going to break myself on the rack.
So your girlfriend's not
But what are you
required,
drinking?
Then. Next question. What's the most petty thing you have ever did to get back at someone? Ooh, that's a good
Cecil,
question.
what's your State of Games?
Fuck you. So potassium hydroxide, what's the most petty thing you've ever done to get back at someone?
Oh man, that's gonna be. I would have to think about that.
All right, we'll come back to you.
Yeah.
What about you? What about you, Shinzu?
Never letting my brothers get the ultimate sword in the
Fuck
Legend
you.
of Zelda.
4 swords. Moving on.
4 swords.
Damok, what's the most petty thing you've ever done to someone?
No fucking comment.
Come on, man. You gotta have something in there.
Oh, I've done some very petty things in my life, but fuck no, I'm not discussing them here.
Dude, you'll talk about slaying a dragon, but you won't talk about the petty shit you've done?
Damok, do you have an older and a younger brother?
You'll talk about tonguing a shitty asshole, but you won't talk about petty shit?
Oh, dude, I will tongue an asshole any fucking day, dude. I'll hit that shit from every fucking way. I will fucking slay a dragon if I have to again. Not a problem. And if it involves my dick, which I'm very proud of, yeah, I'm good to go. If it doesn't involve my dick and or my stupidity, we're good. You want to talk about petty shit? I have done some things that I am so far ashamed of that can never be mentioned.
You gotta own your petty shit, man. Like, do you have siblings? You have an older and a younger brother?
I have a younger sister.
Then you fucking don't know petty. Fuck off.
All right, moving on. Article. What's the pettiest shit you've done?
Make me proud. Make me proud.
Make you proud? I don't really know. I mean, aside from when I was like a very small kid or whatever, in between my siblings, Like, I can't really think of anything. But, like, I should...
You're in between any siblings.
Ever since I grew up, like, about 18, I just, like, revenge is not one of those things that I like. I don't really spend any energy on it.
I can tell you, he's full of shit.
How so?
I'll give you a spoon so you can eat my ass.
You deserve that.
Oh, there's the petty stuff right there.
You petty motherfucker.
Oh shit! All right, Zyber, what's the pettiest shit you've done to get back at someone?
Well, I have this older brother that's a real asshole.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. And, he'd come in my room, beat me up, take my game system, and go to his friends. So, after getting it back, and he was like, oh, I'm not going to do it again. I said, okay, whatever. I put needles, thumbtacks, and shit in his pillow.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Can I tell you the pettiest shit that D has ever done?
No, D's not here. You can't answer for him.
I mean, fair enough, but I know what his answer would be.
I don't know. He's done some pretty petty shit since then.
Really? You think?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, dude. I love D. So, okay, you gotta give me a chance here. So, the pettiest shit I have ever done has actually been super recently. And this is, let me explain this before you're like, that's not petty. So, the pettiest shit I ever did was I waited patiently because a coworker of mine that actually used to be somebody who reported to me called me up and said, hey, how you doing? All friendly as shit. Haven't heard from the man in almost 2 years. Called me up. It's like, hey, can I use you as a, can I use you? No, not him. Can I use you as a reference on, for a work reference? And I sat there and I thought about it for a good second. And I just went, I don't think I would be the best work reference for you. And their response back was, well, you were there, you saw my work ethic. And I thought about this man's work ethic. And I went, yeah, I don't think I would be the best work reference for you. And I just sat there and thought about that. And normally I'm a pretty nice guy. And I'll like, if I know you in any way, shape, or form, I'll talk good shit about you. Because I always try to find the best in people. But this man that I talked to, there was nothing, and it's funny because usually, as I said, I find the best I can in people, and I say, hey, look, even if they're the most stubborn person in the world, I will flip that around and say, hey, look, stubbornness is a fucking, like, a quality you want. They are going to do something good with that. I always try to flip that shit around, but this dude, like, when I left, talked shit about me.
So keep in mind, the first time I met Cecil, apparently my best quality was the fact that I bled.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, a good bleeder is always great.
I want to say,
yeah. So my most petty shit that I did was I waited because I knew, and I don't know how I knew, but I knew this guy was going to call on me and be like, "Hey, can I use you as a reference?" And I knew he was going to need me to do it, and I just said, "No, I don't think I'd be the best guy for a reference for you."
See, I don't think that's petty at all, because if in a work situation, I've had some of the former technicians that I had hired for a project come back and be like, hey, Damok, can I use you as a reference? No the fuck you cannot, because you're a piece of shit and you were garbage across the board. And we're talking about Mr. Seaman guy, and we're talking about a Mr. Gray.
I was like, who? Oh, okay.
Is that the lube?
Yeah,
is that the lube guy?
That's the lube guy. Yep.
and I'm assuming that you're also talking about Turkey Vulture guy.
Oh,
and
yes.
I'm talking about Turkey Vulture, because he hit me up several times because he had got offered a job with the new company that took over, and I immediately said absolutely fucking not. And they went, oh, so he blew me up for a while. Hey, can I use his reference? No, you can't.
Why wouldn't you say yes to that?
They had shit-ass work ethic. They did not actually do work. They got multiple complaints, and somebody had some shit stolen from them, even though it wasn't quote-unquote stolen. It was definitely like, Yeah.
But that opens up the field for you to burn them to the person that wants to hire them.
But I'm not that petty. That's the problem, is that I can be like,
I'm
that's
that
the
petty.
most petty I can get. I am not that petty where I'm going to purposefully sabotage him.
Well, I think
I'm just going to be like, dude, you need to go find somebody else.
Yeah, that's approaching politician petty at that point in time.
Well, you got to consider, like, I guess base level. Did they actually do their job? You know, were they actually
No.
like valuable?
Yeah, no.
Well, if
They
the
did not do their job.
If the answer to that question then is no, then you have to think they're going to be a drain no matter where, pretty much no matter where they go. So maybe they need to be pushed
Not
out.
only did they not do their job, they actually
detract, right?
Like they purposefully burned me when all I tried to do was help.
Right.
And it's like, you know what? I did everything I possibly could, and you were a pivotal person in getting me fired. So, yeah, you can't use me as a reference.
Oh, God.
See, that's the problem is you didn't hire me, so you know.
See, that's that's I would call that poetic justice. If he's the guy that got you fired, and then he asked you for a reference, and you were like, "I wouldn't want to do that." Wait a minute, I could say whatever the fuck I want, and then be like,
Yeah, but in his
"Yes,"
position
you know?
though, like that's kind of dangerous water to kind of like tread on that one.
Yeah, so like I gotta have I've gotta have an integrity myself, and I've definitely grown up with, if you don't have anything good to say about somebody, you don't say anything at all.
Well, that's bullshit.
So but that's the thing though. That's the way I grew up. That's the way my family was. That's the way that everybody in my family taught me. So that's kind of how I grew up to it. So if somebody asks me for a reference and I say yes, that means I've got good shit to say about you. Right. No matter what happened in our life, that means I've got good shit to say. So if I say no, that literally means I have nothing good to say about you. Like, literally.
Right, which is confusing because it's like, why would they ask you in the first? Like, generally, you would think that you would ask a person you were pretty sure is going to give you a good recommendation in the first place.
Exactly.
So if he's asking you, knowing, you know, all this other shit. I don't think I would have been able to help myself given such a, like, just wide open opportunity to fuck with this guy. I'd be like, yeah, you know, like I would make up all sorts of shit. Like, he brought a goat into work one time. You know, like, just dumb shit.
Well, maybe I'll think of that next time if he ever comes back. I doubt he will, but maybe.
Yeah, I would like try to figure out things that would like toe HR's line. You know, like just do that.
Yeah, like I'm not saying he was a weird guy, but when he brought that emu and rode it into work,
like,
that was making me concerned.
He's like a weird but harmless weird.
Next question.
Yeah. Weird.
Next question. All right, last question of the night.
Thank God.
What was a time that you were scammed by pre-ordering a game, either by the game being terrible or the bonus not being worth it? Holy
I
shit.
feel a lot of destiny appearing to this.
Before you go on, let's narrow this down to 5 minutes a person, okay?
Oh, I got
That's
like
all you got here.
I got like one soundbite.
Yeah, same here.
It's a game called Brute Force.
Oh, I thought you were going to go with a different game. I thought you were going to go with Killer Instinct.
No, that was different. That wasn't. I didn't pre-order that. That's still pretty much a scam. But no, for the original Xbox, a game called Brute Force. It was coming out on the heels. Supposed to come out on the heels of like Halo. It was gonna be like the next big thing. I pre-ordered it immediately because I was a dumb kid like that, or I should say I pre-ordered it when I could. But the game got delayed for like years, and eventually,
like, we talking Duke Nukem years or years?
Like a couple of years. Literally, it was delayed for like a couple of years. Despite the fact that when I pre-ordered it, there was only like a few months left until it was supposed to release, and then it just got delayed indefinitely. And finally, it came out, and the game was a heaping pile of shit. Like you could roughly be like one of 4 character classes: a sniper, a guy with rockets, guy with a machine gun, whatever. You were that team going into these little areas and clearing all these enemies out for some fucking purpose. You never really know why, but like that was supposed to be like the next killer app, and it was supposed to be like the next big Halo thing. It was it's so garbage it didn't get a sequel. Like every game gets a sequel nowadays. But yeah,
all right,
garbage.
All right. Well, what about you, Zyber?
Pass.
You can't pass.
Project Ego.
Fuck. I have nothing.
You've never
because
pre-ordered a
like
game and got burned
there's
by
a
it.
lot of games that I feel didn't meet the criteria that was being talked about.
Give us one.
At first, now it's not a steaming pile of shit, but No Man's Sky.
No, I agree completely.
That was my answer.
Now it's a fabulous game.
No, they overpromised on that, and
Yeah.
I agree with you. Like that was a burn, man.
But the thing that pissed me off the most with it was I went out and I dropped, I think it was like $130 on it. And I was promised that special edition, and I did not get that special edition.
All right.
I didn't
Dude, I can
even get my
respect that.
money back. So it was like, okay.
It's been known that I love No Man's Sky, but you are not going to hurt my feelings. Dude, I agree. Like even though I loved it and I still loved it at launch, I agree completely. That game burned so many people, and they've had a long road to try to come back from that shit. And a lot of people will say that they never really came back, and I can agree with that.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. I bought it when it was on sale because you were like, "Oh no, it's great, it's great." No, it wasn't.
Nah, hey, dude, but when you bought it, I still told you you're not gonna like it. I said it was great, and I said I loved it, but I said you're not gonna like it.
And I showed Damok when I bought it in first release. I'm like, so this is my job. I go collect this rock, and I go collect this rock, and I collect this rock. Yay!
No, it's a game like that is a specific vein of game, and you have to absolutely love exploration. Just exploration at its base to enjoy that game.
I wholeheartedly agree with that because the game is less exploration, more mining shit and building shit.
Now, see, like when I first played it and they gave you everything right off the bat, that game was 100% exploration, just going from planet to planet and just randomly searching around at shit.
But were there living things elsewhere?
Oh
Yeah, there were living things, but
You mean like sentient beings, or just like animals that ran around and tried to bite your dick off?
I mean, yeah, I can't remember. I didn't play it on release either. I just kind of was like, I saw the reviews when it came out, and I was a little bummed that it wasn't awesome. But
no, they've come so far with that game. But I can completely agree.
Is it like the other? What's the Sea of Thieves far though, or is it like, you know what I mean?
So. Yeah, it's got the same thing of Sea of Thieves, where Sea of Thieves has got a great mechanic. Like No Man's Sky has got a great base mechanic that makes the game, in my opinion, fun, just like Sea of Thieves has a great base mechanic. But if that base mechanic doesn't click with you, then you're not going to like the rest of the game.
Well, like,
If that makes any sense.
Sea of Thieves, I like sailing around just fine. I especially like in that game, my favorite thing is getting into cannon fights with, be it sea creatures or other boats. Like, that's the best part of that game.
Yeah, so No Man's Sky has got, like, one of the funnest parts, in my opinion, is where you get up off planet, you break Atmo, and then you start jumping from planet to planet, and you see similarities between the planets, but then you start looking for the differences, and then you start finding those differences and start, like, working around those. It's weird. It's
like a cosmic spot the difference.
Well, yes, and no. Like, there is that cosmic spot the difference. There's a lot of stuff there's the same vein because it's procedural based. So there's a lot of stuff that you'll see similarities through. But just like one of the funnest things I found, and it's actually something that I read about first and never said, no, I'm probably never going to experience that, is I found a completely barren planet. Like, it had nothing on it. And it really sucked because I needed fuel to get off planet and I couldn't find any. But then I started like digging down because they gave you the terrain manipulation tool. I started digging down and I started finding stuff under the surface of the planet, like water. And in that water there was plants living, when on the surface there was nothing living whatsoever. But under the surface there was a bunch of luminous plants that lived. It was really cool, just that exploration part. But I can totally see, and I completely understand why people will not like that game. And I don't have any any animosity towards anybody towards that because it's a very specific vein of game.
Like, in a game like that that's so open world, if they really wanted to like give it a storyline, right, they could just inject a story where it's like, oh my god, one of our outposts just went dark. We don't know why. Go, please go investigate. And then you find it's this invading force that's come from out of nowhere or whatever.
So yeah, instead they have like outposts that are just taken over by this weird plant life, and you got to kind of just destroy that plant life. The storyline has a lot to work with. Like they got a long way to go.
Because of that, it sounds boring, right?
My hard drive is filling up here. My hard drive is filling up here.
Yeah, okay, we gotta get this through. We gotta finish this out. All right, who did we get to?
You didn't get to me. I can
What about
just sum
you?
it up in one game. Master Chief Collection.
What?
The Master Chief Collection. I pre-ordered that game, and it's still broken to this day.
Yeah.
And then not only is it still broken, but they're also porting it to PC before they fix it for the console.
Ouch.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think they're hoping that the port to PC just fixes it.
I hope they pretty much just port the same game over, and they're like, it'll fix itself on Windows. Sure, we'll do a Windows update. It'll fix it everything. Yeah, that's right. That's how everything works.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, Mario.
Your marriage is broken. We'll just apply a Windows update to it. It'll be solved.
That's true, because we did try to link up and play.
We
long
did
ago.
very recently, and it still took like 8 minutes to find a goddamn matchmaking.
Not just a match, but even when we tried to play the fucking campaign.
Yeah, oh god, it was horrible. We kept like failing out with one another. It was bad.
Did you ever
Anyway,
play-
All right,
Oh, yeah.
potassium hydroxide.
yeah,
Did we
move
miss
on,
you?
moving on. We're just really
Yeah.
late behind.
I'm gonna say Fallout 76.
Oof.
You pre-ordered that?
I didn't I yes. I bought it day one. It's not really a pre-order. I bought it at launch. It's good enough for me. I could go down a huge list of games.
You gotta pre-order the game, man. The question says you gotta pre-order the game.
No, I'll have to go with this one because even pre-ordering versus buying it at launch is going to be the same result.
If you're gonna go get a game at launch and you didn't pre-order it and you still get a copy, that should tell you something about that game. You don't want it.
Yeah, and that's the kind of thing. It's like, and I could name many games I've pre-ordered. I mean, if I have to go by pre-order, I would have to say Warhammer Online.
There you
I
go.
think Warhammer Online was so mishandled.
I think a better question is, what's the last game you pre-ordered that you were proud of?
That I was proud of.
I'm not saying actually answer that question because we really don't have time for that, but I'm saying that next question, or maybe next time, would be the reverse of that question.
yeah.
I was saying,
Then pop that question in there,
I'll
Shinzu.
say you can ask that question anytime you want, man.
I mean, not today, maybe next week if I remember correctly.
All right, who do we miss? Damok, we get to you.
So the last game that I pre-ordered that I was absolutely disappointed in was the original Rage, because I thought id Software could do no wrong.
Don't they make
What
Doom?
happened?
Oh my god, dude! Did you play the original Rage? The
I
text,
did, yeah.
yeah, the textures were broken. They wouldn't load properly. You couldn't do that. The storyline was shit. You couldn't complete the goddamn quest. You couldn't figure out what was going on. The storyline made no sense whatsoever until you got to the game. The original Rage ripped me off hard. That is why I stopped pre-ordering games unless I 100% know what it's going to be. Theme Hospital. Or sorry, the new Theme Hospital. What is it? I can't remember the
3
name.
Point Hospital?
Yeah, there you go. 3 Point Hospital was the same devs as Theme Hospital and all that. Bullfrog Studios is dead. I knew what I was buying, pre-ordered. When I watched the game and I really enjoyed it, knew what I was buying, pre-ordered, but after Rage, unless I see it, I don't pre-order shit.
All right. Well, my game that I pre-ordered actually was a while ago, and I was so disappointed because other games that I'd pre-ordered up to this point, they came with some really cool swag from, well, it was Babbage's at the time. They turned over to GameStop later. But Final Fantasy 12.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed with that game. All the Final Fantasies up until then, I didn't play 11 before I played 12. If I had, I probably would have not bought 12. but Final Fantasy XII was just so disappointing. I still, to this day, have not finished Final Fantasy XII.
Such a boring main character. He wasn't even a main character. He was just a tacked-on person that you played as throughout the main story.
It didn't feel good, and that actually stopped me pre-ordering Final Fantasies after that. I did not pre-order another Final Fantasy since then, and I probably won't, except I think I'm going to pre-order Final Fantasy VII the remake, only because I really enjoyed the game. I like what I'm seeing on the demos or on the gameplay, so I might do that. But that really shook me, and that brought me down to the level of where I will not pre-order a game unless I know it's coming. Like, I know what it is. Like Resident Evil 2, I pre-ordered because I know Capcom and I know that their remakes are solid. So I was giving them the benefit of the doubt that they're not going to fuck this up.
Does it feel like Square Enix is kind of ashamed of their history and the old JRPG kind of combat style?
A little bit.
No, I feel like they're trying to grow with it. I mean, I understand them trying to develop and grow and make stuff new.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even in Final Fantasy VII, if you take a look at Final Fantasy VII compared to 6, they had the materia system. So, I mean, I see that they're trying things out and trying new things, and I'm okay with that. But Final Fantasy XII it felt like they were desperately trying to make an MMO-style combat system in a single-player game. And it just, God, drove me nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Well, anywho on that, we are way, way, way over time. So we're going to kick into, we hope you enjoyed the show. Fuck where everybody came from. You've heard other shows. You can figure out where they came from before. So we hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes, or your favorite podcast addict or favorite podcast, whatever thing. Reviews help people find the show, so if you enjoy listening to us, go drop a review. You can also find us on Android with Google Play Music, Podcast Addict, Stitcher, Player FM, Spreaker, MyTuner, Your Listen, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. You can follow us on Twitter or Facebook. Just search at G.N.A. Podcast. We do game show night every first Sunday, every first Saturday, but this first Saturday, we're actually skipping to the third Saturday. Long story, blah, 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 yakety schmackety. But we do game show night on mixer.com/G.N.A. podcast. You can check us out there. We also have twitch.com or twitch.tv G.N.A. podcast. You can check us out there. We do horror movie night every second Saturday of the month. So go check us out there. I have no fucking clue what we're watching. And
I am bringing it into sci-fi.
Awesome. I love it. Let's keep it a surprise for now. Mostly because we got to get through this. So, we've partnered with Humble Bundle. I would ask somebody to tell us about Humble Bundle, but I'm going to fucking run into this. Humble Bundle is a game purchasing site that G.N.A. is partnered with. Basically, how it rolls down is you buy a bundle from them, and you can select what part goes to charity, what part goes to developers, what part goes to Humble Bundle, and then there's a last slider that goes to G.N.A. We don't care about that. All we care is that you put the partner equals G.N.A. podcast at the end of your Humble Bundle link, because that lets them know that we sent you there. We don't want you to give us any money, though. We want you to give the developers or charity money. Maybe drop some bones to Humble Bundle. We don't really quite care about those. We love you, Humble Bundle, but we want more charity than we want them giving you money. So it's a cool thing. You just put partner equals G.N.A. podcast at the end, and that will let them know that we sent you there, and it'll come up on our metrics. And in fact, I'm going to give you some metrics here in a second. Maybe. We have made $25.57 this month for Humble Bundle. So that all goes to charity, and our charity that we're working with is Extra Life right now. We may change it up in the future, but currently Extra Life is where we're giving bones to. You can check out our good friends Susan and Brian Langell over at TPC 3-Player Co-op podcast. Go help Brian out because he's been having those weird medical issues like cluster headaches and low blood sugar or some shit like that. I don't know, I'm really drunk and I should remember it, but I've got some swimming shit going on in my brain right now, so I'm trying to keep straight and going forward. Anyways, we want to thank Morgan BS Photography for a new logo and artwork. Check him out at morganbs.com. You can email us at gnapodcast@gnaandyourdna.1 with question, comments, or death threats. We don't care. We would love to hear from you. And don't forget to check out our website at
www.dna Damok is drunk. How many W's was that? .com or G.N.A. podcast. I'm not.
I honestly thought he was going to be louder this time.
I thought he was too. I pulled him away.
I was about to mute my mic, and he didn't do it. I was like, shit, I was really behind at the time.
I think I might have damaged my headphones because I flung them off.
Well, gentlemen, have a great night. Thank you so much for joining us, and sorry for the long show, everybody.
Good night, fuckers.
Lates.
Hey.
Okay, the Virginia Beach story. If you've already heard this, now is a good time to turn this off, because we're going to be here for a bit. Alright, so my brother got married, and he was having his reception at his marriage out on Virginia Beach. So they had this really, really weird thing where, and with the venue that he had and the people that he had catering, you had to go out and you had to get your own liquor license. It's a temporary liquor license, and you had to get your own liquor license, purchase your own liquor, have it there, they would serve it. So it was a great wedding. He had the botanical gardens out there. It was awesome. We get back to the reception hall, and of course, since we bought all this booze, we're going to do our best effort to drink all of this booze. So my brother's wife is Polish, and her parents are very Polish. Her father, Sylvester, speaks with such a thick accent, it's almost hard to understand him at times. In fact, there was plenty of times during the wedding that I couldn't hear, or I couldn't understand what the hell he was saying. So reception goes on. We're doing shots of Jameson. We're drinking beers, whole lot of liquor going on. And my wife she specifically requested that we get butterscotch schnapps and Baileys. So we had a couple of bottles of Baileys. Actually, I think 4 bottles of Baileys, 2 bottles of butterscotch schnapps ordered. So it comes down to it, and my wife goes up and she's looking for, I'm going up for booze, and she's going up and she's complaining because she's saying, well, they're saying we're out of butterscotch schnapps, but there's I know we had a second bottle. I only know 1 bottle's missing, or 1 bottle's gone. So I'm like, all right, well, we'll figure it out. So I'm drinking. Of course, I went up for Jameson. I'm getting Jameson, completely ignoring anything that she's talking about because I'm that loving of a husband. So we get done with the reception, and one of the stipulations is that you had to completely get rid of all of the booze that was on premises. If you left any booze there, they were just going to throw it out. So at the end of it, because we had ordered for so many people, there was a lot of booze left over. So we're sitting there, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna pack this stuff in. I'm gonna make sure this gets back to the hotel. They had ordered a bus to go and cart everybody back to the hotel, or the motel, whatever it's called. But it was over on, it was like 467 North Military Highway. So my wife and my child get on the bus, and I say, look, you guys go on the bus. I'm totally I'll catch a cab and I'll meet you there. I'm just going to help get all this booze back to the hotel and make sure Chris gets there and make sure everything's all set. So I'm like, don't worry, I'll make it there. Now, bear in mind, I am very inebriated at this point in time. I'm already very drunk. So we get back to the hotel. And as we're walking through, we're loading all this stuff up. I walk outside and I walk outside of the reception, and there's my brother going, I just got married. I'm a bottle of wine. So he's handing out bottles of wine to people that just are passing by. And I walk up, I'm like, bro, you can't do that. He's like, what? I'm married. I'm just giving, I'm just spreading the love. I'm like, bro, you don't even know if they're old enough to drink. You could be setting yourself up for a really hard fail right now. Oh, yeah. Okay. So meanwhile, we get back to the hotel. We actually walk down there because it was within walking distance of the reception area. We get back to the hotel. Of course, me being very inebriated as we're walking through the hallway, I see, I'm hungry. So I see some room service sitting outside of people's rooms. Now, it's usually sitting out there because they're done with it. But as I'm walking by, I'm like, oh, man, this looks pretty good. So I pick up some quesadilla and I start eating it. Of course, my brother's walking all the way down, and he turns around. He's like, Cecil, what are you doing, man? I'm like, I'm hungry. He's like, that's somebody else's food. I'm like, they already put it outside, man. They're saying they don't want it. He's like, but people have bitten out of that. I'm like, I'm chewing around the bite mark. It's all good. So, again, very, very drunk. So as we're go up to his room, I'm sitting there and, we're doing the whole, I love you, bro, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, hey, so there's a pool downstairs. I think we're going to go swimming. I'm like, bro, I don't have any trunks, man. He's like, all right, you can borrow some of mine. All right, my brother is like a 300-plus pound man. Well, I was at the time about 210. I'm also 4 or 5 inches taller than him. So I'm a bit lanky of a guy. So somehow he convinces me. I take a pair of his shorts. I throw a safety pin in, and I'm like, all right, I look like the 9-year-old geek wearing the super oversized shorts. Whatever, it'll work out. So we go down to the pool. We're chilling out. Everybody's just having a good time. And my brother's sister-in-law was there. Now, her name was Agatha. I never called her that except for the first time. After that, I dubbed her a different name, and I'll digress here for a quick second to tell you why. So the night before the wedding, me and my brother are hanging out at the bar, chilling out, and I decided that I was going to talk in a Scottish accent the whole night. So the entire night, I'm talking like this. I'm talking like this to the bartender, to people we're meeting, on the road, to my brother, everybody. I'm just talking to him like this. I don't know why, I just did. So my brother's wife decides that she's going to come out as well. Now, I already told my brother, hey, look, bro, you're not getting a bachelor party again, because that happened the first time. No, you can't double dip into that pond. And he's like, no, I totally get it. I'm like, cool. It's like, we'll go out and get beers or something, but we're not dropping that much money on you again. I love you, but no. He goes, yeah, I get it. So we're sitting out there and we're having beers at the bar, and my brother's sister shows up, and my brother's sister brought her best friend and her sister, my brother's sister-in-law. Well, she gets there, and immediately I'm sitting there going, all right, there's something odd about this chick. She's wearing like a bandana as a top shirt, and I'm going, okay. So I'm still kicking into the Scottish thing. So we order a couple of shots, and we all shoot. And then all of a sudden, she gets up and says, I got to go to the bathroom, and drags the other two with him. So when they got there, they literally butt themselves in between my brother and I. So we moved down 2 seats apiece so that they could fit in. So then we look over, and I see that my brother's sister-in-law, I guess technically my sister-in-law now too, left her little wallet on the bar. So I look at this, and I'm like, and I said, hey, bro, did she, oh, sorry, hold on. I said, hey, bro, did she tell you to watch her wallet? And he's like, no. I just thought to myself, all right, well, if anybody knows me, I'm going to fuck with you. So I take her wallet, and I put it in my back pocket. I'm just sitting there. So they come back out of the bathroom. They're going to order another round of drinks, and then all of a sudden, she realizes her wallet's not there. We went from, hey, I'm having a good time, to 3-alarm shit fit. I mean, full-on 100% meltdown. Freaking out, where is it? So I'm now, like, I'm watching this, and it's better than I could have possibly imagined. It's like watching a train wreck right now. You just can't look away. So after, like, 5 minutes, I just finally realized, well, there's no way I can, like, introduce this back in here without something. So I just pulled it out, and I was just like, I was only going to do this for about a minute, but it was like a train wreck, and I just couldn't look away. And I slid it back on the bar, and she starts freaking out, screaming and yelling at me. That's all my money. I worked hard for that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, how about some personal responsibility here? Because you just walked away and left it on the bar. And she just comes out, well, you were supposed to watch it. I'm like, whoa, I don't know you that well. There's no way that I'm just going to randomly watch some chick's wallet while she goes to the bathroom. You could have had Coke in there. Then I would have been liable for that. Somebody comes in and busts me. I'm like, no way. That's not my bag. You should think about it before you do something like that next time. And she just literally, one end down the other. Finally, my brother realizes that I'm too stubborn to back down. I'm also incredibly drunk, but I'm not backing down. She's not backing down, so we walk away. So the next day, while we're doing the whole getting ready for things going, I, of course, mention, hey, where's Agony? Is she showing up this morning? And my brother didn't catch it the first time, and we continue talking. Then he stops and he looks at me and he goes, "Oh my God, I've never thought of that before. That's brilliant." And I went, "What?" He's like, "Agony." So that's what her name was, Agony. That's all she exhumed around her, was just pure agony. So flashback forward to that pool incident. So we're sitting there at the pool, and I'm just sitting there BSing. My brother's with his wife. I'm actually hanging out with the rest of the with the maid of honor and the rest of the bridesmaids and all that stuff. No, didn't go there. I was just drunk, and there were only people around to bullshit with. So this other group of we'll say young adults. I don't believe that they were quite of age to drink yet, but they hop in, and they are getting really rowdy, like really rowdy. But they're over on the other side of the pool, so I don't really care. I'm happy. I'm buzzed up, just chilling out. So I brought actually a couple of bottles of booze down. I think like a bottle of vodka and some rum, and I'd finished off the rum while I was there, and then like all of a sudden these rowdy kids start like playing tag or Marco Polo or something all across the pool, and they start like pushing through all the other people that were over there, part of my party. So of course, you know, I just raised. I was like, "Hey guys, calm down, all right, chill out." And they just kind of keep doing their thing, and then of course, Agony had to speak up and starts barfing profanity out of her pie hole, all at these people. And I'm going, "Oh God, great. My brother's wedding. I'm going to get arrested." So immediately the woman of their group comes over and starts like getting in her face, barking and yelling, and then grabs the empty bottle of rum that I had just finished, busts the glass over a table and starts like coming at her, threatening to cut her. So of course I'm like, "Oh crap." So I yell over to my brother's mother-in-law and said, "Go get security right now." And I start hopping out. And I literally put myself, who the hell knows why, but I put myself in between Agony and this crazy person with a broken bottle. And I'm going, great. Not only am I going to go to the fucking police department, not only am I get arrested, but I'm going to go to the hospital too. This is awesome. So they scatter. I, of course, grab the other bottle of booze, shove it down my pants, and hop back into the water. Security gets there, and I explain. I say, "Look, they came down. They were being a bit rowdy. Some words were exchanged, and then she started threatening to cut my friend here." Now, I use the term friend loosely because it's Agony. So lo and behold, you know, like my brother's looking over like he's getting ready to get involved, and I'm like waving him off going, "Look, if anybody's going to jail, it's going to be me. You're not going to jail on your wedding day. Go back, get back." So I'm waving him off. So finally, they, you know, all of their group left. Security came, security left. And now, like, I go over to my brother, I'm like, "Hey, bro, I just asked security where these people are, and they said that they're on the same floor as the rest of the girls. So we got to get these girls to their room." So of course we go upstairs, and I'm like, "You got my back, bro?" And of course he's drunk, like he can barely hold his head up. He's like, yeah, I got you." So I'm thinking, all right, let's go up there. So me now trying to make myself look as big as possible, I walk up, and security is literally walking away from these people that are sitting outside of this room. So I walk up, and I just in my best tough guy voice, I'm like, "Hey, look, we got to get these girls over to their room. We got to go past you. So if we're going to have any trouble, let's have this trouble now so we can get them to bed." And they're like, no, there's going to be no trouble. I'm like, "All right, look, if you say there's going to be no trouble, I'm fine with that. But if we come by here, it's throwing down time. Just making sure we're on the same page." He's like, "Nope, there's going to be no trouble." So as I turn to walk away, I look in the room that they were just coming from. There was 30 of them in that friggin' room. And as I turn around and I start walking away, I'm thinking to myself, "Oh God, that could have went really, really bad. That could have went really, 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 really bad." So I start beating feet, and now my brother looking at me, picking up the pace, getting out of there. He's like, "Oh," and he starts like jogging to catch up. So we go downstairs, we get the girls back to their room, and as we start walking back to my brother's room, my brother says, "Oh, hey, watch out for the pee spot there." Well, again, I'm very drunk, so I thought he said, "Pee in that spot there." All right. So I pull it out. I had to go anyway, so I start taking a leak. Now my brother, of course, turns around. "What are you doing?" "What do you mean what I'm doing? You said pee right there." He said, "No, I said look out for the pee spot there." Oh, Christ. So I shake it off, put it away, and I start walking down the hall. And, of course, there's some more room service on the side of the road, on the side of the hall. So I pick it up and start eating. And he comes over and he slaps my hand. He's like, stop doing that. I'm like, dude, I'm hungry. He's like, well, order room service. And I'm like, no, I don't want to order something. There's food right here. Nobody's touching it. So we go back up to his room. And then we go, like, we change out of the wet clothes, and we go downstairs, and we go over to the girls' room to just make sure everything's all right, just do a last check. So when we get there, all the booze is in their room now. So we walk in, and I see the boxes of booze. And I'm like, oh, nice. And as I walk in, I see that they've got, like, apple juice, orange juice, all this other stuff over there. They're getting ready for the morning, or for later that morning, I guess. So my brother, my brother's very drunk, so am I. And Sylvester, the bride's father, walks in. He goes, doesn't say a word to anybody, just kind of like nods and waves. And he gets over to my brother and myself, and he goes, we still drink. And my brother goes, what? And Sylvester then looks at him and goes, we still drink. And my brother looks at me and he goes, bro, we still drink. And I went, okay, bro. So I squat down in front of these boxes, and I start shuffling through these bottles in this thing, trying to figure out something that we can drink that's not going to be just like knock us on our ass. So I start shuffling through these things like Data in that one episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, where it's just like fumbling through all these chips and putting them back in and engineering, and like everybody's all high as a kite and they got some weird virus or whatever. And I'm start fumbling through these things, and as I go through, I pull out a bottle of butterscotch schnapps. And I'm like, no shit, this is where that went. So I set it aside going, my wife wants that. I have to get it to her. I'm starting to get into autopilot mode at this point in time, gents. So keep that in mind. So I finally open up and I see this bottle of gin. And I look and I go, yes. And I hand my brother the bottle of gin. And my brother looks at me and goes, oh, gin? And I go, bro, gin and juice. And he just looks at me like I got 3 heads. And I point to the orange juice. And I said, dude, Snoop Dogg can't be wrong. And he looks and kind of gives a nod. So there we are. We're pouring very heavy gin and juices. And there we are drinking gin and juice with Sylvester in the middle of a hotel room with a bunch of bridesmaids. And everybody trying to get some sleep. And we're just pounding down more booze. So, end the night, or hopefully ending the night. We go back up to my brother's room. And I say, hey, bro, I love you. I'm going to get out of here. I got to get back to the hotel. Meanwhile, I don't even know what time it is. I think it's like 2 a.m. by now. Like, I got to get to the hotel, so I'm going to check you later. So I call down, and I ask, hey, can you guys grab me a cab? Because I got to get out of here. And they're like, yeah, sure. Where are you headed to? And I spout off where I'm going to. 407, whatever, military highway. At this point in time, I'm so friggin' drunk, I don't remember. But I spout something off to him. And then I go downstairs and I say, hey, bro, I'm going to leave my shoes and socks here because I'd gotten them wet with the whole going in and out of the pool and all this other crap. So I just say, hey, I'm going to leave those there. I'm just going straight to the hotel, man. I'll be fine. I'll grab those in the morning. He's like, yeah, that's fine. So I grab my belt, the bottle of butterscotch schnapps, my wallet, and my phone, which was a Droid X, if that makes any bearing on the story. And I got these things in my hand, and I go in the elevator, and I go down the elevator, and as the elevator door opens, it looks directly outside, and I see a cab stopped there. So I'm like, oh, great, my cab's here. And as I start stepping out of the elevator, the cab starts to pull away. So I freak out, and I run through that lobby, and I bust through those doors, and I'm like, hey, my cab! No, my cab! So then another cab pulls right up, and I look down at this cab just pulls right in front of me. Passenger side door sitting right, like literally right in front of me. And a bunch of people start like climbing out of this thing, out of the cab. And they've got cases of like Busch beer. And I'm like, man, you guys got beer? All I got is this bottle of butterscotch schnapps. And they're like, oh, you want some beers? I'm like, absolutely. So they give me like 4, they just throw me like 4 beers. And I'm like, dude, thanks. So I lean down and I look into the cab and I'm like, hey, are you my cab? And the guy looks at me and says, hey, do you need a cab? I'm like, hey, I need a cab. He's like, then I'm your cab. I'm like, you're my cab? He's like, I'm your cab. I'm like, you're my cab. So I get in, front passenger seat. I don't get in the back. I sit right in the passenger seat. And I sit down and I start, I just start talking to this guy. And I pop a beer and I start drinking it, not thinking anything of it. Much later, I found out that Virginia is an open container state, so you can do that. But I'm sitting there, I'm pounding these beers because I'm like, oh crap, I got to get rid of these before I get back to the hotel. So I'm pounding them as quick as I can. And he asks where I'm, he asks, like, we start driving away. He asks where I'm going. I rattle off again something to him. Not sure what it was, but I rattle off something to him. And And then, like, we start driving, and we start bullshitting back and forth, and he's telling me about how he was in Nam, and, you know, how he's, he works at the one of the military bases, and he just drives cab part-time, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome, man. And I tell him about all my friends who went into the military, about, you know, my grandfather being in World War II. I tell him about all this shit. You know, we're just like, we're bonding here. I don't even know the guy. I don't even remember the guy's name. But there we are. We're bonding. So I'm going to pause right here and flash forward to that morning where everything kind of starts to come together almost. So I wake up. I'm in bed at the hotel. I'm like, oh, man. And I feel great. Like, I feel really well rested. I feel like I could just take on the world. So I start messing around with my daughter, you know, because she's sitting there and she's just woken up. So I'm playing with her, and, you know, we're talking, and I look at the bottom of her feet, and she's got, like, you know, like dirt all over the bottom of her feet. And I'm like, oh, God, your feet are so dirty. Oh, what's Daddy's look like? I pull up my foot. My foot is disgusting. It's like black tar looking with bits of glass sticking out of my foot. I had like a cigarette button between my pinky toe. It was disgusting. It like almost made me visibly gag. As I look at my foot, I'm like, oh, God, Daddy's feet are disgusting. And I'm sitting there going, and I got the smell of road tar. And as soon as I got the smell of road tar, all of a sudden I had this, like, just flash of I'm walking on the side of a highway, like, with cars buzzing by me and big trucks buzzing by me. And the only reason I know it was a highway is because as I looked across, I remember seeing the barrier in the middle. And I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, when the hell was I walking on a highway? Like, did I walk on a highway last night? Like, no, I caught a cab. Okay, so throughout the rest of the day, weird smells would all of a sudden bring things back. Now, I won't drag you through the entire rest of the day, but I'll tell you, when I got over to my stepbrother's room, I walked in there thinking that I'm okay, I'm feeling great. I walk in, I start, like, just jumping around, playing around because the other kids are there. My niece and nephew are there, and I'm jumping around, I'm playing around, I'm going all over the place. My sister-in-law is a heavier set woman, and she's got huge tits. Huge tits. So I, of course, pick up her bra, and I walk around. I'm like, hey, look at my new hat. I'm wearing her bra like a hat. Everybody in the room is dying. And then all of a sudden she goes, are you still drunk? And I take the hat off, and all of a sudden I realize I am still drunk. I'm still really drunk. That's why I felt so good. So let's flash back to being in the cab now. And we'll get to why I all of a sudden started getting flashes and remembering this. So there I am in the cab, and I'm pounding these beers, and now I'm feeling tired. Like, I'm really feeling tired now. So I start to, like, kind of, like, half doze off. You know, like when you're just in a car and you can't quite pass out, but you just start half dozing off. And I remember the vehicle stopping. I remember him talking to some guys, and then the vehicle started up again. And then all of a sudden he stops and he goes, hey, man, we're here. And I'm like, oh, man, thank you so much, dude. Have a great night. And I'm like, you know, give him a high five, you know, give him the high five shake. You know, I'm shaking double-handed. I grab my stuff, and I go to step out. And as I step out, all of a sudden I look around me, and all I see is gray buildings. Like, just gray square buildings. And I immediately start to panic because this looks nothing like where I'm supposed to be. And I sit back down in the car. I'm like, bro, this is not where I want to be, man. Like, where are we, dude? And he's like, we're on the military base. I'm like, military base? What are we doing on the military base? It's like, because you said this is where you were stationed. I'm like, stationed? Do I look like I'm in the military? And I grab my hair, and I had a ponytail down to my ass. I grab my hair, and I hold it up, and I'm like, do I look like I'm in the military? And he's like, well, you said, we were just talking. You said you were stationed here. I'm like, no, I'm totally not stationed here. I'm like, I'm not stationed anywhere. So he's like, all right. I'm like, dude, and now I'm like really flustered, like flop sweating, panicking. Oh, and by the way, just to give you a quick visual of what I'm wearing, I'm wearing a set of linen pants and a pink button-up shirt. Okay, so just give you a little visual of a 6.5-foot man wearing this. So I'm panicking. I'm like, bro, dude, is there like is someplace we can go to drink or something, man? I'm just, and he's like, no, man, I got you covered. So we drive to a bar. I'm not sure what this bar is. I don't recall anybody else being there. And you'll tell why in a minute. I had real trouble remembering a whole bunch of stuff. But I remember being in a bar, and I remember going behind the bar and pouring my own drinks and seeing the cabbie doing the same thing. And I remember after a little while of having a couple of drinks, I remembered, I'm like, oh God. And as we're walking out of this bar, which I'm not 100% sure was open, to be perfectly honest. We may have just broken into this bar. I don't really know. And if you know me, you know I could do stupid stuff like that and not realize I did it. So we walk out, and as we're stepping outside, I'm like, dude, I remember where I'm supposed to go. And he's like hiccuping and stuff. He's like, hey, great. That's awesome, man. Like, cool. And I'm like 407 North Military Highway. Can you get me there? And he goes, no, man, I'm drunk. I gotta sleep this off. So I'm like, what? How am I supposed to get back? So I look at my phone. My phone's dead. I'm like, dude, I don't even have my phone's not even charged. I can't even GPS my way out of here. He's like, oh, what kind of phone you got? And I said a Droid X. He goes, oh, I got a charger for that right in front. Just go ahead and plug it in. He crawls into the back and passes out. And I crawl into the front, turn his car onto accessory, and I'm sitting there with my phone charging, and I'm going, I could just turn this thing on and start driving. I'm like, no, don't be that guy. So at some point in time, in my infinite wisdom, I decided it would be a great idea to walk. Why not? I have a phone in my hand. I can GPS my way there. So I started walking back. All right. Not really sure why. I thought that was the best idea of where I was, since I had no clue where I was. I just put in the address to the hotel and said walking. And for some reason, the timescale that it said seemed logical to me. So I started walking. Now, I think at some point in time I got a second cab. I'm not 100% sure, but I just want you to imagine a 6.5-foot guy in linen pants, a pink button-down shirt, with a belt and a bottle of butterscotch schnapps, his phone and a wallet in the other hand, walking barefoot down a highway. Like, that's the vision I want you to have in your head right now. So at some point in time, I'm hoping I grabbed another cab. I only found one cab charge on my account, so I don't actually have any evidence saying I grabbed a second cab, but I'm really hoping I did. Anywho, I get back to the hotel. I finally get there. I start walking in. I'm like, this is awesome. This is amazing. I'm so glad I made it here. Like, I'm alive type of thing. So I walk in, and I get in the hotel room, and my niece and my daughter are sleeping in one bed, and my wife is sleeping in the other. But as I walk in, I walk right in between the two beds, and I look over at my wife, and she has the blanket draped over her, but she's almost pressed right up against the wall. And in those hotel rooms, there's usually about 2-3 feet between the bed and the wall. Well, she was literally laying in that 2 to 3 feet area. However, she wasn't on the ground. She was still on the bed. The way she had herself covered, this looked to me like she was levitating. And I immediately in my mind said, oh, I can do that. And I look forward, and I just fall forward. I just let her go, fully believing that I can levitate. So, of course, what happens? As soon as I fall, I smack my dome off the end table. Like, all my weight, just I stiff-boarded, bam, smacked my head right off that end table so hard, just spots. I leap onto all four, and I'm looking left and right, because I just made a lot of noise. I'm looking left and right, and I'm going, did I wake anybody up? Did I wake anybody up? And I'm shifting my head back and forth, looking to see if anybody's moving, and I'm like, I don't think I woke anybody up. And I'm shifting back and forth, and I'm realizing as I'm shaking my head back and forth that I'm shaking my brain, which I just concussed off the skull a bunch. And I go, I think I got a concussion, though. I roll into bed, and I look, and I see the clock had a bunch of 5s on it. And I closed my eyes. And when I opened my eyes, all I remembered from that moment on was me opening my eyes. And then things started coming to me as the day progressed. And I'm trying to explain to people because they're all like, where were you last night? When did you get in? I'm like, I kind of remember a bunch of 5s. You're like, you got at 5:55? I'm like, maybe? I mean, I remember there was a bunch of 5s. Maybe it was 4:55. And they're like, well, at 2:55, you were still at the hotel because that's when your brother called over and said that you left. I'm like, okay, all right, yeah. Well, that doesn't sound right, but okay. So throughout the entire day, I would smell like beer behind we went down and got breakfast. And we walked by the bar, and I got that waft of old beer, that stale beer smell you get, and that immediately made me flash. I'm like, holy crap, I was in a bar last night. When was I in a bar? Why was I in a bar? And like all these different things just started kicking in and like giving me these little glimpses. And as the day went on, I started getting more and more glimpses of what actually happened. And I realized that nobody was ever going to believe this story if I told them. Like, nobody in their right mind would, because I'm telling it and I don't even believe it. So I try to like negotiate it down and say, oh, it was something I watched on TV that night that just got stuck in my head. Well, there was no TV on, so I can't do with that. And then I'm thinking, maybe I saw the Hangover movie recently. No, because there's not a lot of stuff that happened. I mean, I didn't take a roofie. I just knocked myself cold. But yeah, that's the Virginia Beach story in its entirety. So, Hollowed, there you go, man.